What's up, guys? Welcome to Kind of Funny's Eminem Music to be Murdered By review. I'm Tim Gettys. This is Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Everybody from the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me.
I'm gonna die.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna die.
Oh, no.
The music. It's murdering me. We also have Cool Greg joining us for this baby.
What's happening?
How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm actually gonna die.
Album's that fire, huh?
Is that fire? Is that something? Is that something?
something.
You know what I mean? It's not a bad something. You know, let's get right into it. So we're doing a special one-off here of the latest Eminem album. We're doing the review. Last time, Cool Greg and I did Kamikaze.
Hell yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Feels like it was forever ago, but it was only like about a year and a half ago that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Eminem dropped 3 albums in the last like 2.5 years.
You didn't hear? They call him Butterfingers. Keeps dropping shit, man. That was one of his bars.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Wait, was that in his verse? Was that a line?
Yeah.
Okay, that was actually a good one.
Yeah. So we're doing this week. You guys, thank you very much for watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames or watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunny or roosterteeth.com. That's pretty much where you're going to find this guy.
Yeah.
But let's get right into it. What did you guys think? Blessing.
Oh, man. I have very mixed feelings on this album because for me, I'm a very big Eminem fan. Like Slim Shady LP is one of my favorite rap albums of all time. Same with Marshall Mathers LP. I really like Relapse, which is one that a lot of people disliked, but I absolutely love that album. Eminem Show I love. And then when you start to get to his later albums, and so let's say like the last 4, like ever since
This is his 11th studio album.
Oh my God, man.
We're old, aren't we?
Yeah, man. It feels like Slim Shady LP just came out 10 years ago instead of 20.
Totally. And that's the other thing too, is like this being the 11th. It's like, man, I remember like Encore being the 4th, 5th if you count Infinite. And it's like to think that we've had that many since then is really crazy.
It feels wild. And I think the thing is the last 2.5 years, right? He's dropped in rapid succession. And for me, ever since Marshall Mathers LP 2, that's when I started wavering hard on Eminem. Like Marshall Mathers LP 2, that's the one that had like Rap God, which I think is a great song, but also had like, what's it called, Survival, which I wasn't really feeling, and it had a lot of songs. Berserk, which I actually did really like Berserk.
I like it for it just being fun and different, and it reminded me of like old school M, but it didn't remind me of old school. It reminded me of like Relapse pop era, like Relapse singles.
Okay,
like it reminded me of what was the Relapse single? The
one with 50 Cent and Crack a Bottle, or We Made You.
We Made You.
Crack a Bottle was the first one. We Made You was the second single. But yeah, like I liked some of the songs off of MMLP 2, but that was the first time where I was like, I don't know if he can rap anymore. Like I don't know. His voice for me started to feel like nails on a chalkboard at a certain point where I'm like, is something about the way either they're mixing his voice, like they stopped doing the layered vocals on every song like they were in Recovery and in Encore, where I don't really know how to describe like the kind of gruff tone that he had, but with layered vocals, so it sounded kind of fine. They removed that, and you started hearing him have more single layered vocals, which I don't think at a certain point worked for him anymore. And I feel like that stuff really kind of came to fruition with Marshall Mathers LP 2. And then you had like the Shady 15 album, which I guess is like more of a compilation thing than anything, which I kind of skipped over because I was like, I don't care. Revival, I hated, but I still listen to. It's weird. Eminem's become one of those artists where even when he puts out bad albums, I still listen to them because I guess I'm just in it at this point.
We tweeted out on the Kind of Funny Vids account for you guys to give your thoughts on the album. Cam, according to Cam, says the album's like watching The Simpsons. Some good episodes and jokes, and you know it's strong legacy, but you don't want to watch it. New Eminem and Simpsons aren't that bad, but they're dated. Royce, though, watch out for Royce.
Oh my God, yeah, Royce did a great job on this album, and I think that comment kind of does surmise some of my feelings on this album. Where at the end of the day, if I'm comparing this to all the Eminem albums, it doesn't come anywhere close to Slim Shady LP and Marshall Mathers LP or Eminem Show. But I've stopped looking at Eminem in that light. Now I'm kind of just comparing Eminem to more, I guess, the more recent Eminem releases, which I don't think any of them are amazing by any stretch, but they're good enough that I'll listen to them. It's almost like a guilty pleasure kind of thing with me and Eminem.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
I feel like with that, it even kind of becomes a thing where it's like you don't even really compare it to other contemporary music.
No.
Like it's
Yeah.
almost its own genre of just Eminem, and you compare it to Eminem, and like I feel like that sucks. And the thing that I like least about this album is I hate hearing rappers complain. Like
Oh, yeah.
I'm down to hear rappers be angry at someone and like start some shit and have some diss tracks back and forth or whatever. I don't want to hear you complain about reviews from Rolling Stone. It's like there's nothing
especially at this
interesting
point,
about that.
because we had Relapse come out, and for all intents and purposes didn't necessarily set the world on fire. Then we
Well,
had
did in
Did
the
it?
wrong way.
Oh, yeah, in the wrong
right?
ways.
It was like that was when everybody was like, oh man, we'll give you Encore being kind of a misstep, but like Relapse, you're going way too hard into what people didn't like with the
Yeah.
accent shit. But coming back with Recovery, not to repeat myself too much from the last time we did Kamikaze in review, but Not Afraid, him leading with that song, corny as it is, you know, it's still kind of hype. Like it still has that like epicness.
Especially at the time. Like at the time, listening to Not Afraid, me being in high school, I was like, oh, let's freaking go. Not
Let's
Afraid.
freaking go,
like,
right?
This is awesome. And then looking back, listening to Not Afraid, I'm like, okay, this song is mad cheesy. It's super corny. But, you know, he went from Recovery being like kind of apologizing for how
Straight
bad.
up, the second verse of Not Afraid,
Yeah.
he's just like, hey, let's be honest,
the last
Relapse was
album was bad.
And it's
Perhaps
like,
I ran that accent into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's where he was at with Recovery. Then he comes out with Marshall Mathers LP 2, which I feel like he didn't really have much to say anymore at that point. It felt like it was just him rapping, right? Or it was him trying to recapture the legacy of Marshall Mathers LP, but being a totally different rapper at this point. And then he comes out with Revival that flopped. And then he comes out with Kamikaze, which is him going at the reviewers. And I mean, you have some more of that in this album. And at this point, it's like Eminem's identity has been kind of all over the place as far as who he is and what he wants to say and how he wants to say it. Like him having Ed Sheeran as a feature on this and Revival. I think it was Revival. I don't think it was Kamikaze they had Ed Sheeran on.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, look it up, Barrett. But either way, like
he had him on Revival. He also had him on, Ed Sheeran had him on his recent project.
Oh,
Had
is that what it
Eminem
was?
as well for
Okay.
Remember the Name, but not the Fort Minor Remember the Name.
Gotcha. But Ed Sheeran being one of the artists that he would have torn to pieces
Totally.
on Slim Shady LP or Marshall Mathers LP, right? Like you can kind of see Eminem changing and shifting, but still kind of wanting to recapture his legacy. And I feel like at the end of the day, it kind of just turns out messy. Mm-hmm. And so overall, like I think this album, Music to Be Murdered By, I think it's way better than Revival. I don't think I like it more than Kamikaze because at least for Kamikaze, I felt like he had more to say and he had an objective. And I feel like there were higher highs on Kamikaze, even though there are very high highs on Music to Be Murdered By, but I feel like there's also very low lows, which we can get into.
Cool, Greg.
I mean, I was impressed because I didn't really expect too much. Yeah, I mean, it was a random album. You know, I was enjoying my night trying to have Mac Miller go #1, and then that dream got shot fucking down by Mr. Marshall Mathers. But yeah, I'm impressed by most of it. There's a few songs that I would consider cringe, but compared to Revival, yeah, man, I think this is way better.
Yeah.
What about Kamikaze?
I feel like it's similar. It's just like a stretched out Kamikaze almost. You know, it's like I put it in the same category. Like I wouldn't say it's better. I like it more because I'm into the whole horror theme. Like that really nailed it with me. The Kamikaze theme that was only on like 2 songs or maybe 3 songs for that album kind of lost me. And then the rest of it was like love songs or anti-love songs, however you want to describe that.
Yeah.
This just seems kind of like the beats felt more together than Kamikaze did. It didn't seem as much back and forth. So I'm going with this one over the last 3 projects. I'm saying this is the best one.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like I just wish we can get to a point where our immediate reaction isn't to just only validate this album based on the last couple albums. You
Yeah.
know, like I hate where it's
But-
just like it always
yeah.
has to be this thing where it's just like, oh, what do you think of this album? And the first thing we all say is, oh, compared to this and this. But that isn't our fault. That's the fault of him and the music.
Yeah, but
Like,
do you feel like he can make an album at this point that's as good as those first like 3, 4, or 5?
I think that he can make another Relapse, but in a good way that's better received if there was a consistent tonal voice throughout the whole thing. That to me is Relapse's greatest strength, is that the horrorcore stuff, like he committed to it. It wasn't perfect. And like I'm with you, I like that one more than most people. But like at least he had a vision that he committed to. These last 3 projects, I feel somewhere within the 3, there's one really solid album.
Definitely. And that's my thing. Music to be Murdered By, I think, starts off strong in the first half. Like when I look at Premonition, the intro, I think that intro is great. Even though it starts off with like sounds of murder and then kind of goes into what isn't really like sticking with the theme of that, right? Like I feel like when you look at earlier Eminem albums and you look at songs like Kill You or Criminal, right? They're keeping with the theme. There's not really a Kill You or a Criminal on here. They're just like the songs for the most part that are him going hard are mainly just him rapping and not necessarily telling like a tight story. And even in the songs where he is telling a tight story, I don't feel like they are with the murder vibe necessarily. But that said, like Premonition as an intro, I think his flow is great. I think he raps pretty good on it. Unaccommodating is good. You Gonna Learn with Royce and White Gold, I think is good. And then I'm gonna skip These Kind of Nice because I didn't like it. But
You didn't?
I didn't like it. No, the Ed Sheeran song.
Here's the thing, Ed Sheeran, whatever. I feel like there's a gut reaction to not like it because Ed Sheeran's on it. But like, I think that the song itself was fun. It reminded me. Here's what I'm gonna say. It reminded me of an encore song, and I shouldn't be excited to say that.
Yeah.
But it's somewhat. There's that nostalgic feeling where like it's like, oh, at least I'm getting something out of this that doesn't just feel like before we started recording this, we started like joking, saying that we could write an Eminem song.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, it's like there's just something. His shit is just so predictably corny or predictably like lyrical miracle, spiritual fearable. Like you're not saying anything. You're saying things quickly, but you're not saying anything. Or it's just like, hey, who can I hate on now? Like, we get to the point where he's hating on his stepdad.
Oh my God.
It's like, damn, how many family members are you gonna just pull out of the thin air? Because you already made up with Kim. You already made up with your mom.
Yeah.
It's like, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and that's my thing, right? Like you get into from These Kind of Nights to get into Deep, which I think is fine. Godzilla, which is great. Darkness, which is probably the best song on the album. And then from there, the album just falls off a cliff. Because Leaving Heaven, featuring Skylar Grey, it's another thing. It's another song where he's dissing, I think, his real dad at this point, who like passed away. Yeah. Right. So you have two songs dissing two different dads on this album. You have Ya, which is fine. Stepdad, which I hate. Marsh, which I kind of liked what he was going for, but at the same time, I'm like, Lil Wayne did the whole I'm a Martian thing already, and then Lil Wayne made two albums about him not being a human being. And so I don't really want to hear rappers, especially Eminem, talk about how
47-year-old dude.
Talk about how he's a Martian and out of this world, because I've heard it already.
Yeah, because Young Ma on the second song even says like, "What up, Marshall? I'm a Martian. I'm on Wayne mode." Yeah, so
And also
kind of brought to light.
The extraterrestrial shit. Like M had a whole song on Kamikaze that was like a similar thing. I forget which one it was, but
I didn't catch that.
But like, Lil Wayne literally has a song that I think is called like Martian or something on Carter 3. I forget the exact name, but you know what I'm talking about, Barrett.
No, there's multiple songs. That's his thing, man.
Yeah, like that's his whole thing. And so like for you to make a song that is like essentially that
references.
Yeah, like it's not good to me, but
Wayne's World.
Yeah, for this album to kind of start off on a strong-ish foot and then to take a dive like that, and
it just lasts too long. Like that's the thing is, man, this album's an hour and 7 minutes, something like that. But it feels like it's 4 hours long. And like that was the one thing that I really like want to give to Kamikaze is that it was tight. It was like 45 minutes in and out. But even then, I feel like this has a more consistent voice, even if it's 2/3 consistent. I feel like this album to me is 2/3 whatever it is. Good, 2/3 bad, 2/3 like classic M, 2/3 like modern M. It's just every single song. Let's look at Darkness as an example.
Yeah.
I feel like the idea of Darkness is great. I feel like the message of Darkness is great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the execution of Darkness is 2/3. It's like when you're going through the verses, I shouldn't catch on to what you're doing until the twist happens the first time I'm listening. Mm-hmm. And within one verse, I'm like, I know exactly what this is. It's like I feel like the metaphors weren't deep enough, weren't strong enough, and also he gives up too early. Like he reveals it to the audience too early, where it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're not rapping from the perspective of a shooter and a rapper at the same time. It's just a shooter. Like it's almost as if he ran out of like funny things to like clever things to say and was just like, all right, now I just need to keep going with the song.
Yeah, and it's definitely for that song. I think it was like first verse. You can kind of put it either way. You're like, oh yeah, he's rapping about he's a rapper at this point, right? Second verse, I feel I'm kind of with you a little bit that he kind of gives up a bit early, and it feels like he's rapping from the perspective of a shooter at this point, even though all the lines he's saying could be applied to an artist performing on stage. And by the third verse, I think is where he's like, he's just rapping about shooting at this point.
Yeah.
But I think that song out of all the songs is the best song on the album for me. Like I think when I first heard the sample being "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend," I was like, oh no, here we go. But when it got into it, I was like, I kind of like this.
Dude, real talk, I'm with you in this. I don't think it's the best song on the album, but I do think that it's not as corny and cringy as it could be.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like, what was the song, Beautiful, that he had on
Relapse?
Yeah. Where it's just like, oh, you're just trying to go for some shit that, like, you're just trying to hit a market with this one. This doesn't feel like that, even though it very much is
Have you seen the music video for this one?
The video makes the song much better.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think the video might have been the thing that uplifted the song to me, because by the end of it, when you kind of get, like, when you're like, okay, what's the point of the song? And you kind of see that he kind of does want to spread the message of, like, you know, if you want to get rid of gun violence, go vote and have a voice, all that stuff. I was like, oh, wow, that seems very not what I would have expected from classic Eminem. I guess newer Eminem I could see that from, because he's had his political raps.
But here's the thing he's been political since day one.
For sure.
Right? Like White America on Eminem show, right?
Yeah.
Like Mosh on Encore. Like, he's always been that way.
But he's never been specific like this, I feel like.
But my problem is it's only specific in the music video. I feel like that context is lost in just the song.
Yeah. He has a few lines toward the end there where he's like, I got this gun, like, I'm a licensed owner, stuff like that. So which kind of alludes to the idea of, like, yeah, if he has no prior convictions, no history of, like, mental health, right? Like, he kind of alludes to that stuff, but he doesn't necessarily put the stamp on it. But my problem with that is, without putting the stamp on it, it can kind of come off as if he's being sympathetic to the shooter. Right?
It can kind of come off as him being like, hey.
I think the last bar is, it wouldn't make the slightest difference, though. So I feel like he's saying, like, they won't ever know why I did it, but even if they did, it really wouldn't change anything. I feel like that is kind of the stamp, right?
But to me, that's the stamp of, like, saying, it kind of leaves it vague. There's no message of, like, this is a problem. It's kind of being sympathetic to the shooter. It's like being like, hey, man, like, we won't know, but maybe he was going through shit.
Oh, no, I took it the opposite, where he's saying, like,
I get you can take it different ways.
Nah, it doesn't matter what you can say at this point. It's ugly. It's bad. This is a horrible thing to do.
But my problem with that,
and then it goes into the news recordings of all these shootings at the school. I feel like I don't know. I think it's pretty on point and obvious.
But the for me, going to the 2/3 thing, like, even with this song, it's like, you can't have a song that powerful and then also be making immature references to the Ariana Grande bombings on another
the
song
album.
that you didn't need to do. It's like, dude, you need to have some level of consistency, or some level of consistency of, like, this is a serious song, this is a more comedy song. That would make it okay. But when you're flippantly jumping back and forth between, honestly, being immature as fuck and, like, really, it's just not worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and at a certain point, like, Eminem is 47 years old, right? We the audience are listening to him with that in mind. It's hard to, like, separate the fact that he's 47. And so when he makes off the cuff lines on, like, and when you don't frame the song as a comedy song and you are making off the cuff lines about, like, rapping about the Ariana Grande shooting or whatever that the thing was, right? Like, at a certain point, it's hard to really, like, it's hard to really get with it, because like I feel like 23-year-old Eminem would be easier for.
It's like, I mean, it's the shock headline thing. It's like, even if it's not comedy, it's like, we know why he did it. He did it because people are going to write about it.
It's the same thing of, like, him on Kamikaze, like, calling Tyler the Creator the F word.
But then what's he fucking do?
He apologizes.
Like, and it's like, good, you should apologize, but it's like, what?
Yeah.
What is
like,
what is the voice here?
place?
Like, what is the point of all of this? You know?
Yeah, and that's kind of. I mean, I think that's why I like the song. Is this song for me on this album is the clearest example of having a message and kind of committing to it, even though, like, there are other moments in the album that kind of conflict with this a little bit. I feel like this song, at least from concept to delivery and the production, like, is all kind of feeding into this in a way that works. Like, the slow delivery of him, like, giving, like, line by line, detailing, like, the thought process, the feeling, the like, the actions that person is taking there, I think works supremely well. And, like, yeah, he kind of does give up a little bit through, but at the same time, I every time I go back and listen to the song, I'm like, okay, like, this is the closest I feel like he's gotten to encore Eminem. Like, this song I could see on encore.
Which I just love that is our that we're saying that, like, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is with Kamikaze, I feel like Kamikaze has higher highs, like you were saying earlier. But I feel like this one's more consistently good
I
the
agree.
entire time.
I
Where
agree.
there was the one song, I forget the name of it, but on Kamikaze that is about D12 and like about him.
Stepping Stone.
I think that is a fucking phenomenal song.
Mm.
I love it. It reminds me of old school era. Like that reminds me of post Eminem show, but pre Encore M, where it's like you're still saying stuff. There's still substance here.
It's like Toy Soldiers or something like
Totally.
that. Yeah.
And then him going back and like actually, talking about a history we care about, unlike his stepdad. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit where I'm like, you're actually trying to say something, and I think he did it musically very well. I don't think this album has any of those moments for me that like I actually like. I got chills hearing that the first time, and I had to re-listen to it.
To which one?
To Stepping Stones.
Okay.
Like towards the end of it,
Yeah.
where it's like D12 is over. Like at the end, I was just like, oh shit! Like you're actually saying something with this. There's like some character growth of this Eminem Slim Shady character.
He tried to have those moments. Like I think, no, not Never Love Again. The one about his actual dad who passed away. I think that was an attempted moment at that like emotional like try to connect with Eminem.
But we
kinda
just
thing.
don't care about his dad like that.
And that's the thing is like we've heard you talk about your parents so many times, and like that's probably the lowest point on this album is him doing Stepdad and the other song about
Never
his
Leave Heaven or
Is
Leaving
there no
Heaven.
regrets?
Leaving Heaven.
Leaving
that's the
Heaven's
one.
one with Skylar, right?
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
like that, man.
Yeah, like I it sounds like a song that was left over from Recovery that he was like, okay, yeah, let's see if we can retool this.
How does he still have Recovery leftovers? Because
I
it
don't
does
know.
feel that way. They just keep coming
yeah,
back,
they just keep
man.
coming. But like at 47 years old, I don't want to hear you rap about how much you hate your stepdad and recount stories from your childhood. And you have like grown children. Like I
Your
respect.
stepdad killing your chihuahua. It's
Yeah,
like,
killing your
what
chihuahua
are
is
you
like-
doing right now, man?
If you were 20 years old, I'd respect it. I'd be like, you know what, man, go off on your stepdad. Get back at him. But it's been 20.
Dude, at this point, if you're 20 years old in 2020 talking about your stepdad, it's like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Do something new. Do something different. I get it if you're 14.
Yeah, true. Like, and that's the thing. Like, at 47 years old, you've been doing this for 20 something years, right? Like 21 years if we count Infinite, which I think came out in 99, right? Like, it's been that long of you specifically talking about your parents, and at a certain point, one, we get it. Two, we don't want to hear it anymore because you've already given it to us. We already know.
Your foot on a fucking throat, man.
Yeah, like-
Hell no, I don't care how much clout I'm getting. If you my enemy, but as big as I get, I'm letting you, reminding you, man.
it's
You
like-
a
but I-
fucking whole ass
But
hoe.
but this feel, but to me, this feels like you're just introducing a character. It'd be
Yeah.
like Eminem's mom, right? That's Thanos. Like we've been building up to this
Yeah.
shit for fucking
sure.
23
we got a Thanos
albums.
reference on this album.
We
too.
did. And then people are trying to give it way too much credit because he says HOs instead of like spelling hose the right way. And they're like, oh, it's because half of the letters are gone. I'm
Is
like,
that
nah.
what that
I'm
was?
like,
No, he misspelled it. He misspelled it.
Yeah, it's like, yo, there's no fucking way we're gonna give him that.
No.
But it's like we've been building to this bad guy for so long, and then we dealt with the bad guy, and then this kind of feels it's like, oh yeah, but there's also been someone else this whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like, no, dude. Like who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, a better example would be like him talking about the stepdad's like Count Dooku showing up in episode 2 of Star Wars, where you're like, who the fuck are you?
I don't get that reference.
Yeah, don't ever. I'm so
But
lucky.
it- but-
You're so lucky to be alive and not know who the fuck Count Dooku
Oh yeah,
is.
man. I haven't watched the prequels, but like I'm with you though that and you after apologizing to your mother, you don't get to diss any more parents at that point.
Especially stepdad that we've like, as far as I know, never heard about.
No, probably not. I mean, he's probably come up in like early Eminem songs as like a throwaway line.
People
but
in the chat are saying that like the stepdad isn't a real person. Like,
Wait, is
this
it not?
People. That's what people are saying in the chat. That
Then who is he?
That
Because
makes
then-
it even
What-
worse.
Is my
You're
whole thing
making
is-
up people to be mad at.
Because then you're talking about he like killed him and then put him next to his dog, right?
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was just a bullshit ass song. And when you guys keep saying he apologized to his mom, I'm like, I thought that was just
but-
another song. Like I didn't take any of his shit as like very serious.
Headlights?
No,
I mean,
Headlights?
it's like Eminem canon. Like you think his mom's there? Like, well, he put it on wax.
No,
Yeah,
but like
it feels that way. He presents it that way.
He
Headlights is-
presents it that way.
Headlights, I feel like is sincere in a way that even if stepdad is like a made up story, which obviously like he didn't kill his stepdad, but even still, this subject matter is tired at this point for 47-year-old Eminem.
I just remember seeing interviews with his mom and her talking all types of shit about how she doesn't see the talent, she doesn't understand what we see, and all these things. So I don't think she's listening to the songs, getting the same feeling that we're getting.
Oh yeah,
so maybe it's presented to us that way, but it's like, again, I don't know how many times we got in arguments with mom and we walk away fine with it, and she's still mad, or the opposite, you know. So I think it's just all there for a story, and it's cool. But I don't try to look too deep into it. It's just take it for the music.
Headlight specifically though is a little bit different. Like that is a straight up like
it's him
call and response to cleaning out my closet. Like,
and I get that, but I think it's for the sake of the music.
Yeah,
we're talking about a man who has nothing left to say.
Yeah, but even for the sake of the music, I think there's still inconsistency there as far as like being like, "Fuck you, mom." My mom put drugs in me, all this stuff, right? And then coming back on Headlights and being like, "Mom, I'm sorry. Like, you know, we had rough times," and then now coming back and be like, "Fuck my fake stepdad." Like, there's
my fake
I mean, I guess, but this is Eminem.
Inconsistency there.
It's the guy who, I didn't have a dad growing up, and then shit, I left my kids because I was famous growing up. Like for them growing up, I feel like it's the same guy. Like, dude, he's Mr. Inconsistent. He doesn't get it, dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
Are we gonna jump through each song and talk about it, or just the whole open relationship conversation?
Right now,
I'm a little lost on like when to say what.
Okay, so
we'll go through the songs real quick. I just want to say because we're sounding really negative on this, and like to be honest, like I don't think we are much more positive on it than we're sounding. But I feel like this body of work is one that I'm going to come back to more often than his last two. Revival, I listened to real hard for like a week just because I wanted to like understand what I didn't like about it and be able to put it into words. Kamikaze, I listened to for a bit longer, but it's like I never go back to it ever. Not a single song. Stepping Stone's one that I'm like, I listen to and I'm like, oh, that's cool. This album, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to because I'm like, oh man, I need to listen to this song or this song. But I can see myself putting it on shuffle because all of the song, majority of the songs, I'm like, I can listen to these at any moment. It's just background. And that's good.
See, I'm probably the opposite where out of the last three, this is probably the one that I come back to the least. Like Revival, I actually did go back and listen to for probably a month or two because it was the first new Eminem album in a while. And I did like there were select songs off of Revival that I liked. Like I liked Chloroseptic, specifically the remix.
Yeah, the remix was dope.
The remix is great. I also liked there's a song on there that sounds like a Relapse song. I forget what the song's called, but like that and a few other songs I really liked. So I kind of kept going back to Revival, even though I was kind of hate listening to it at the same time, but still, you know, enjoying some of what it had. Kamikaze, I went back to a lot after that came out. Like that was probably in my top 10 albums of that year, the year that came out. Because like when I look at The Ringer, I think it started off great. Greatest, I think, had great verses on there. Lucky You, I think, you know, M and Joyner's verses on there were great. Normal was weird. Stepping Stone was a good song.
Love it.
Not Alike, I think, is some of the best Eminem rapping we've gotten in a while.
Is that one with Royce?
Yes, that was the one with Royce.
I hated Royce's verse, man.
I thought it was all right.
I like the song. I thought I thought it was like way too try hard of like I'm gonna do something different, and it didn't work for me.
I think Eminem's verse though, being a diss to Machine Gun Kelly, I think he had a lot of great punchlines there. As far as him like being like, actually, I'm not gonna try and remember any lyrics because they get complicated. But he had a lot of great punchlines there. And then Fall, I think, is a great song. And then I loved Venom, which I know you guys didn't necessarily love. I love that song, dude. It's Eminem rapping about how he's the symbiote and how his listeners are Eddie Brock. Like, it's
okay.
It's stupid, but it was so good to me. And I like the hook and I like the beat. But I think at the end of the day,
hold on, you didn't mention the worst song on the album. Kamikaze. How is the self-titled the title of the album song? The title, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. What the like? That might be one of his. That and "Fack" are like two of the worst songs. And why does he even says "Fack" in it? It's in the chorus.
That was a weird.
The "Fack" over everything. Fack. What the fuck?
It was a weird choice. That song definitely gets skipped for me every time. And then like also like the nice guy, good guy stuff or whatever that stuff was
so dope. But I just feel like that's going back to the 2/3 thing. I'm like, commit a little harder, man.
Because I love the production on those songs. I didn't necessarily love the rapping on them, but I enjoyed them sound wise. I just wish that another artist was given those beats to rap on.
Yeah.
But you know, this album, after this, I don't know how much I'm gonna go back and listen to it, especially because we got like 4 other albums that came out on Friday that I haven't really listened to because I've been listening to this for this episode. But yeah, like I want to get to the Mac Miller album. I want to listen to Dreamville. 070 Shake dropped an album, and then I think Halsey dropped an album.
She did, dude. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah,
She's hard.
and so I want to go back and listen to those. But yeah, like I think this is not the wrong direction. Like I feel like at the very least, like Eminem's kind of keeping status quo with this album. And there are great. I think there are great moments on this album, and we can get into like song by song.
We'll go track by track.
And
It's
so-
just is there a point that we hit that an Eminem album isn't special anymore?
I think we've already hit that point. I don't think it's special anymore.
Yeah.
I think this is the point. Like Revival definitely. Well, I even think like when Marshall Mathers LP 2 came out, Eminem albums. That was probably the first time where an Eminem album dropped, and I was like, I'll listen to this in like a week or so. I didn't feel compelled to listen to it day one. And once I did listen to it, I was like, whatever. And then when Revival came out, I felt compelled to listen to it, but that's only because it's been some time. And so maybe if Eminem took like, I don't know, man, like 5 years off and came back with an album, maybe then I'd be like,
maybe
let's
52-year-old, and that's where it's really gonna hit.
Oh yeah, that's when you. That's my question actually. Is what does Eminem need to do to come back? Because I feel like for me, I really like Jay-Z's no, I guess I liked his Beyonce duet album, but 444 I really liked because I felt like I was getting adult Jay-Z. It was him rapping about not loans, investments,
401ks.
yeah, stuff like that, like adult stuff, right? It was him rapping about like the story of OJ, and like, you know, there was actual subject matter that felt appropriate for Jay-Z's journey and where he was at and kind of what he wanted to give back. Whereas Eminem rapping about stepdads and like complaining and stuff kind of doesn't feel like it fits to me. And so for me, I don't know what I want Eminem to do at this point. So what does I don't know for you guys? What does an Eminem album look like that comes out?
I mean, you bringing
that's
up
good?
Jay is an interesting point. It's like Jay went through this problem. He just handled it better.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he went through the problem of he put out Kingdom Come, and everyone was like, oh man, it's old man rap. I don't want to hear this shit. And then he put out American Gangster, which was like kind of a great call and response to him being like, all right, this is going to be a story based on the movie, but like that allows me to go back and talk about gangsta shit because I'm not the one doing it. I'm just doing it as this character. And then that worked. And then I feel like he found a nice middle ground afterwards with the albums after,
Yeah.
for the most part. So you know, a little pop somewhere, but
Oh yeah, Blueprint 3 was not great, but yeah, I mean, to what you're saying, right? If Eminem came out and put out, and this might not be for most people, but it would be for me, if he came out and put out Relapse 2, it was just like, I'm gonna tell a horror story from beginning to end and keep that theme and go all the way with this, I think that would be a great album. I'd be totally into that.
I mean, for me, all I want is just one consistent vision. I don't care what it is. Just like give me something that feels like one body of work, not just kind of like a collection of songs that he's putting out that, you know, none of them feel like they have a direction.
Cool, Greg, what about you?
Man, I don't know if the Halloween themed albums really work. I feel like we just got a Jeezy one. That's not going to get any play. I didn't even listen to it, but I just know it's not going to live on. I just feel like when you try to give him the horror movie aspect, I liked how he did it with this, with like just little touches of it. The intro, the outro, the cover art and everything. But if you do it for the whole thing, I feel like it's just going to get lost.
Interesting.
But what would you want though?
From M,
Yeah.
the opposite of what you guys are saying. Like you said, once every 5 years. I'm like maybe twice a year. Like
Oh, you
I
wanted
think
to, like, go all the
I want
way
to
in.
get to the point where him talking isn't supposed to be a special thing. Like he is just rapping, and it's like I feel like maybe he feels too much pressure because he's like one of the biggest rappers of all time, or at least alive, right? So when he drops, it feels like he needs to make a statement. But it's like just rapidy rap, just talk bullshit, make dick jokes if you want to make dick jokes, but just put it all out there. You know what I mean? Just give me more and let me choose through it, right?
Yeah.
But right now it's just like a retirement party kind of thing, right? You're just kicking back, chilling, right? He even says on this album so many times, like if it was about the money, I'd have gave up hella long ago because I'd already been done. Like I had enough money, so just have fun with it.
I mean, I think off of that, right, looking at this album, if you cut this album down to the 8 best songs on it, I think it'd be a great album. Like, I think it'd be wonderful. Because if you cut this down to just Darkness, whatchamacallit, Godzilla, and like some of the
All the Royce features.
the Slaughterhouse features, right, and then like picks like some of the other great songs on here, then I think it'd be a solid album. And if Eminem did a thing where he's like, I'm gonna drop once a year, but it's gonna be 8 song EPs or 8 song albums, I think that could be a possibly great direction.
Yeah.
And so
This is one of the first times that on an M album, pretty much anytime there's another rapper, almost anytime there's another rapper on the song, I'm just like, oh, Emma, you got outshined. Like Royce kills him on like every track Royce is on this. I'm like, you.
I think Royce has the best verse on the whole album on the fourth song. You gonna learn? I think it's the
All right, let's go track by
album.
track here. So starting off with Premonition, which is the intro.
yeah, I really liked it. I once again like coming off of like the murder sounds. I wish there was more of that theme there, but I still like the fact that it felt like he was rapping well. It felt like his flow and delivery was great.
Really reminded me of The Ringer, right?
Yeah, yeah. It felt like he
But
was
the
like,
opposite, not calling shots, giving respect.
yeah, and also like setting the tone of like, hey, by the way, I'm Eminem and I can rap and I'm good at rapping. That's kind of what it felt like. For a lot of songs I have like either a best line or a worst line. The worst line for this one for me is I'm coming after you, like the letter V. I hated that one.
And I think that's how I want to start this. My whole, for this song specifically, but also for the whole album, my idea on this, or my takeaway from it is, he used punchlines that I've heard thousands of rappers say.
Yes.
But he used so many of them and put them all together, and they all made sense together, right? So it's kind of like the whole, if you think about like the whole, we'll get there, but the whole first verse of Darkness, it's like that specific, where it's like you've heard all these punchlines before, but you just never heard them together. And he's talking about one thing. And that's why I think he does on this a lot, where it's like, I've heard a lot of these lines, but you put them together so nicely that it's like it works. And with the letter V, I didn't like it, but then he rhymes it with alphabetically and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, you used it the best way that you can. You use it, so
Yeah.
like he kind of always stayed in. I don't want to say in character, but like in the same sense of the words. So I liked that.
There was another line. I forget if it was in this song or in a different song. It was probably in a different one where he's like, with all this ABC shit, I'm starting to sound like Alf a bit.
Yeah.
And that took me a bit to get.
I liked it though. I like that.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I like that in the same way of what he's talking about, where it's like there's a commitment to wordplay that at some point justifies the corniness of an individual line. I just feel like some of the stuff was just a little too surface level and a little too like I have heard this too many times before. But then every once in a while, it's like he'll say some shit. I'm like, I've definitely never heard that before.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, the intro, I thought it was okay. Like it definitely, it wasn't the Ringer for me. Like the Ringer was a moment where I'm like, oh, strap the fuck in. This was like, okay, cool. You're going for the weird murder stuff that feels kill you ish, and then you're just going into some like modern rap stuff over modern beats, and I'm like, those feel like different directions for me, and I feel like both were okay, but it didn't like hit hard.
You guys, man. I didn't. Like I told you, I was listening to this Mac Miller album. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's real chill. Smoking a big one, man. You know, and I'm just chilling the fuck out. Then I find out this song drops, and I'm thinking it's a Nick Cannon diss. And then I'm like, all right, what's gonna happen? I played his first track, and I hear the word Jigga, and my heart dropped. I'm like, what the fuck did bro just say? Because I thought he had dissed Jay-Z, and I was real scared that I was gonna have to bring it to his front door, man. I was like, what the fuck is
Going on a
going
road
on?
trip to Detroit.
And then later on, he says it again. And I'm like, okay. And I think this song brings up a conversation that maybe it's not the best song, but it's an important thing. Like, what the fuck? Like, you guys are asking, what can he do? What did Jay-Z do different? And he's like saying, he brings up Jay-Z, 2 Chainz, and Tech 9, which I thought was a random one. I'm not the most familiar with Tech 9. I didn't realize he's been in the game that long. As long as
Tech
these
9?
guys.
Oh, yeah.
As long as fucking Jay-Z and Eminem and these guys. I had no idea. I'm not a Tech 9
Yeah.
guy. So, but
And Tex Detroit too. So
I didn't even know that. Okay,
Isn't he?
got you.
I don't know.
Because, yeah, I don't know nothing about Tech 9 other than, like, he signs rappers I like. So I fuck with him for that. But
no, he's Kansas City.
regardless, I know
Yeah,
Greg
he's
Miller
Kansas
likes
City.
him a lot. Regardless, that shit's cool. And he had a song on Lil Wayne's album, which is weird. But whatever.
Tech 9?
Regardless,
Oh,
yeah.
Carter 4.
Yeah, right.
Dude, but he like
Random.
goes off though. Like,
It was just really random.
yeah, people got
right?
respect for Tech 9.
Yeah, I do too.
The West
but-
Coast Chopper shit, man. Like
yeah.
West Coast Choppers, I think 2 that M's on. Holy fuck, man!
What?
Like they kill it.
It sounds like you guys are summing up why he gets treated differently because
Yeah.
he got hella respect or whatever, and so does Jay-Z. And I didn't really like the argument M was trying to make, saying like, you know, they're making it hard for me, and I bet you Jay-Z and 2 Chainz would agree with me. And it's like, I don't think Jay-Z and 2 Chainz would agree with you, bro. They're not in the same category as you, because Jay-Z did it gracefully, 2 Chainz did it. I don't know
In a
why, how the
different
hell
ass
that
way,
worked,
yeah.
but he did that
Somehow,
shit, bro. He
from
did that
Titty Boy
shit.
to 2 Chainz.
Yeah, so he did this shit. So I don't know. I like the conversation it stirred, and I think he did have some good points. I didn't like the examples he used, but that shit was hard, man. And then the line he had where he's like, some people want this from me, the other people want that from me, and he's like, I got more hooks in me than Sway Lee. I was like, it's corny, but I fucked with that line hella, bro.
What was that? Did like Sway Lee like punch somebody or like get a hook, or was he
No,
always on
Sway
course?
Lee's
on choruses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
That's what I thought. But I was like, maybe there's some deeper, because usually when you hear a hook, you
Actually, yeah, with him, like their brother just killed their father, right? You'd think there'd be like some kind of reference on that with this shit.
interesting.
But I don't know if he killed him or not.
Yeah, I don't think he killed the
for
father,
it.
but I know
Nah.
their father recently passed. I don't know how it happened.
The brother got arrested for it. I know that for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't
not
know that.
not Sway Lee, the other brother.
Yeah.
No, I mean Sway Lee.
Eminem's going to make songs about that on his next album.
And his brother.
Well,
and his
he's ran
the
out of family members,
the
so he
third,
had to
to
deal
be clear,
by
bro.
other
My bad. I've
people's.
been sipping. Gang.
Not Ray Shremmerd, right? Like not like the other.
That's what I'm saying. The other brother in Ray
The one-
Shremmerd, not Sway Lee. There we go. The other brother in that.
I know.
So
who-
the third
what's
guy.
his name?
Who doesn't
I know
rap.
what you're talking about. I forget his name.
But yeah, I'm surprised there's no lines on that. You think it's an easy topic, but at the same time, it's Eminem. I don't think he wants to disrespect Sway Lee, especially after that. You know.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then track 2,
Unaccommodating.
Unaccommodating.
Man, they were
Featuring
totally
young-
in different
young MA.
studios. One was in Asia, the other one was in fucking Detroit or something.
That's-
So
that's how it
what
felt
the
like to you?
fuck is going on,
Dude, to me, when this started, I literally was like, did I hit the wrong? Like, is this not the album? Like,
Yeah.
it is the most what the fuck feature
This-
of all time.
Dude, I
James
loved it,
Burt
though.
is the one that introduced me to
Young M.A.?
to Young M.A. With the her name is Stephanie. I call her Heffany. Like, what is it? I don't even know. I was like, what the fuck is this, dude?
I love it though. I love when Eminem kind of reaches outside of his comfort zone for features, because I'm so sick and tired of hearing Skylar Grey or like the same voices on his album, because it
It makes it all sound like Recovery.
yeah, it makes it all sound like Recovery. And so like I forget who it was on his last album, but he had like a few people on his last album that I think kind of lended to that album sounding real different. For this one, I love the Young M.A. feature. I think they started off strong. I think she killed it. She set the tone pretty well. And then Eminem, it felt like a standard modern
Yeah.
Eminem verse. Didn't really do anything special to me. I wrote here that the Ariana line was just to grab headlines, which we mentioned before.
And it's just lazy, dude. It's just like, it just doesn't seem worth it. It's like, you could have made it worth it.
I can't imagine giving Young M.A. fucking props on that verse and not giving props
Really?
on Eminem for this whole thing. Like, that was a cool verse. I'll slap the shit. That shit was hard. But, dude, what the fuck? That was nursery rhyme bullshit, man.
Yeah, but like
I
Eminem,
clean up the world. I rake shit. I'm in rake mode. Like,
yeah,
you're
but like
raking the world.
that's the thing though. Is like
Do right, kill every. It's the
I feel
upset
like
of the ringer.
I feel like when we talk about like delivery, right? I feel like Eminem delivery wise has kind of lost it. Like I feel like I don't get for a beat like this, for an instrumental like this, I kind of want to get like hype. And Eminem's voice doesn't necessarily lend itself to that the way that Young M.A.'s voice does. And so like even though Eminem's lines and lyrics are more intricate and complicated and there's more there lyricism wise, I feel like Young M.A. kind of complemented the instrumental more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But yeah, just as a fan of bars, she had zero. Not one quote I would want to say myself. Look at her shit. I mean, let me know.
Then You Gon' Learn, track
Hold on,
3.
before we move on, man, that's the line. He mentions Nintendo. He mentions Thanos. I know you kind of funny fans would fucking love that
Love
shit.
Thanos.
Or
I
last
forget
one.
the worst line on there is "Call us liquid plumber because even Dre know."
Yeah. He also
The best line is "That's why they call me kamikaze. It's plain suicide."
no
I
that
thought
those
it was a
whole
great
4
line.
bars were hard. Where he's like,
The Drano one? Oh, okay.
it's plain you will die. For me, like,
Oh, yeah.
what-
Plain
that whole
suicide,
that
yeah.
setup. He should have ended the verse with that, but he didn't end the verse with that. He ended it with the fucking what was it? I got paper to be blunt.
Oh,
Remember with the Indo? There's a couple lines in there where it's like, dude, he
Yeah.
had some hard ass verses, and then bars, and then he switched up and just went back. And I'm like, why did you do that, man? But on this song, he also says, "Go ape shit, Beyonce, Jay Z." Another time
Yeah,
I had
I like
to stop and make sure motherfucker wasn't talking crazy,
He will never diss Jay.
huh?
He'll never
he has
diss
too much
Jay.
respect for Jay.
Yeah.
Also, I have a
Okay,
signed,
thanks. I don't know. We'll see, motherfucker. I don't know what this guy's capable of, dude.
I have assigned ratings to these songs too. So Premonition, the intro, I gave an 8 out of 10, and then Unaccommodating, I gave a 7 out of 10.
I can see that for both of them being
Yeah.
just like in the context of this
In the
album.
context of this album,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then track 3, You Gon' Learn, featuring Royce the 5'9" and White Gold.
Great Royce verse, great hook, great
Great
production.
Royce verse,
I
man.
think M did his thing. It's not necessarily a memorable M verse, but I think it was still good.
His verse on this one to me is like the example of every all the songs are good.
Yeah.
on this. It's just like his verses feel comfortable to me in a way that I think is
Were you saying M?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like where I'm like,
I hate this one how he starts it.
But it's like it's good modern M. It's like modern M.
Yeah.
It kind of like can be the. I don't know if it can ever be great, honestly, but like
That's my
it's
thing
either
too,
going to
yeah.
be good or it's going to be like, ugh.
But
This one made me feel like, all right, cool. If you just do this the entire album, I'm gonna be fine with it.
But
And
I think
he
this
did.
is also why like I prefer Kamikaze is because I look at some verses on Kamikaze from Eminem and I'm like, this is legitimately like an amazing verse in a way that I look at verses here and I'm like, this is good verses, but not necessarily anything that's really hooking in me.
Yeah.
He said, I was a have-not. My pockets, they didn't have knots. Come on, bro. It's 2020, my G. Come on, what the fuck is going on, man?
I gave that one an 8 out
That's
of
a
10.
substitute teacher kind of bar, bro. Like, get out of here.
But yeah, hearing Royce on it though, it was a moment for me where I was
Royce
just
killed it.
like, oh man, you're getting outclassed. It's like M should never be outclassed, especially on his own album.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me hard where I'm just like, fuck, I wish this is what Bad Meets Evil was.
Oh my god.
Because Bad Meets Evil, like
I love Bad Meets Evil.
I loved it, but I loved it contextually, right? It was just like it again
Really?
was just
I
the
think for-
Bruno Mars track.
Okay, the Bruno Mars track definitely was definitely like a radio. We're gonna put this out because it'll do numbers. But I think overall
Meets
though,
Evil.
like when I look at Bad Meets Evil and I look on the songs there, I love that album. Like,
I love it, but I love it in the same way I love Recovery. Where I was
Okay.
like, oh
Okay,
man,
fair.
this is way better than it could have been. And it's a
Yeah.
different style, but it's still not that. Like, I listened to Scary Movies recently. That was like OG Bad Meets Evil of Royce and M.
yes.
That's
I would
something else.
give anything to get something to that quality again.
But then also, that's classic. And when we didn't know better, as the fans, we didn't know better, but that was totally boxes and Nicki Minaj and my conscience and Donchins. You know what I mean? Like, that was do a
No, see,
backflip and a
I-
handstand. And
I disagree because when you listen to it, it's painting a picture. Like he's actually saying something. It's nonsense,
it
but it's
reminds me of
nonsense.
the Forgot About Dre verse.
Yeah, but it's like all of those where it's like he is just rhyming a lot, but it's like he's rhyming a lot of things where you could do an animated cartoon of what he's talking about,
And it's great.
and it's going to be dope.
Yeah.
Mummy with my
If
lips
you
on my
animated
wrist
the
lit, you know
freaking
what I'm
Yeah.
Majesty verse with Nicki Minaj, it's like, what are you going to see? It's just gonna be a lot of flashing things, right? Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a bunch of images that make no sense.
Yeah, like when Eminem
that,
said
like, horror
beat
cartoon.
up Foghorn Leghorn with an acorn. Like I felt that. Like I think that's my favorite era of M is when he would just put words together and they would make no sense, but they'd make enough sense for me to be like,
I see
genius.
something. Yeah. So fucking funny. But yeah, you're gonna learn cool. Then there's the Alfred interlude.
Yeah, I just wrote whatever, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Like interludes should always serve a purpose.
Yeah.
And the purpose can't just be, well, the album cover.
Yeah, and like
I don't know.
Eminem-
As a horror fan, I'm the opposite. I think it's so dope that knowing he's a horror fan and he got fucking Alfred Hitchcock. Like, who else could he get?
I mean, that's
the
not really
top of
Alfred
the top.
Hitchcock. Oh, wait, is Alfred Hitchcock still alive?
No,
No.
I thought you just took it from that album.
Yeah.
He took it
Music to
from
Be
another
Murdered
old
By
album.
is a
Oh.
old school album that Alfred
Gotcha.
Hitchcock presents Music to Be Murdered By. And it
Gotcha.
was him, all those clips are from the album of him talking.
I didn't realize they were actually from it. I thought they were just like
That's where the cover art's
redone.
from. It's
For a
like
second, I was like,
random
wait a second, is Alfred Hitchcock still kicking?
No, definitely
And is he on
not.
the album?
Nah, but he he hit him up like, hey,
Yeah.
Alfred.
I was like,
He's
yo,
I got you, bro.
this album's actually
Thanks,
great.
Marsh. Yeah, no, but what's cool about that album I was looking into because I didn't know, it's a full orchestral score that they made that's a score to a movie that doesn't exist. So it's like you're supposed to listen to
okay.
it and imagine a horror movie. It's
That's
pretty
cool. That is actually hella
That's
dope. I kept listening to it because I knew this was coming up, this in review. So we recently got Google Home, and I've been trying to use that shit. And it only works with weak ass Spotify. And every time I try to play this Eminem album, it plays that bullshit, bro.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Some bullshit.
Those Kind of Nights
Team
is the
title.
next one,
They ain't fuck with that. Sorry, fuck y'all.
featuring Ed Sheeran.
So I didn't love it one for the Ed Sheeran feature, but I also didn't love it for the vibe and tone of the song. Like it's comedic Eminem, but it's on like a poppy kind of beat, and I don't know. I feel like if I'm gonna get comedic Eminem, I want it on more so like either like something goofy, kind of like what's it called? Just Lose It or like something like that, or Real Slim Shady, like on that level. I don't necessarily want it with Ed Sheeran on the hook and on a beat that I could see playing in the club.
Yeah,
but-
see, I'm with you. Like, I would love to hear what a modern, without me, Real Slim Shady, My
Yeah.
Name Is type song is, but like,
Yeah.
I also don't know that I ever want to hear that.
dude,
ever.
I think the closest we got to that with modern Eminem is probably So Far from Marshall Mathers LP2. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was kind of that of him telling the story of him, I think, pursuing a girl or something like that.
That could be interesting, but I like these things where, again, it's a nostalgic thing for Encore, which I can't believe I'm nostalgic for. But like, it reminds me even of Relapse, of the song where like it's comedic, but it's also really dark, but it's over a pop beat, of him talking about like chasing down Lindsay Lohan, like where each verse is about a different girl.
Yeah.
Like I forgot what it was called, but I enjoy it. I like hearing him talk about bizarre.
Same song and dance?
Same song and
Yeah,
dance.
so that's what I was like, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. But it's so funny, like just hearing him talk about bizarre taking shots. I'm just like, what year is this? Like, but
sure.
like again, I enjoy that. But I feel like Ed Sheeran like is going to make it so that nobody enjoys this song. But like replace him with The Weeknd, and I feel like people would like the song more.
Really? I just feel like there's such a clash in like what the purpose is of having a pop singer on the hook and having this instrumental and then the verses you're giving. Like I also didn't love the delivery on some of the verses. Like I felt like M's voice kind of clashed with what the production is. And so I just feel like it didn't come together at the end of the day with all the different elements. And so I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Then In Too Deep.
With that song, before we move on, bro, I really liked it. I wanted to hear Chris Brown in that chorus. That's why I thought it would fucking fire. As if we replace Ed Sheeran and have him doing those same lines, I think that whole song would have came together a lot better.
Yeah, I mean that's my thing. I feel like any pop guy, really.
Not even pop guy. I feel like specifically him with his history with Rihanna in the back, and like Ed Sheeran's the new Rihanna for him. You know what I mean? He's running to him to fucking do these bullshit ass songs.
that is these bullshit ass songs. You know? That's true.
Then he has that he ends it with that line, the opposites attract. I'm someone, you're no one. I'm high, you're bi. I'm coming, you're going. That's corny, but that's fucking hard as shit to me, bro.
No, that is a perfect example of
bruh.
Eminem of the comment section of this video and also the comment section of any review of this album.
Yes.
There's gonna be the people that are like, he's a fucking genius, or like, oh my god, he needs to stop.
It's terrible.
You know?
Why don't you do this about Dreamville or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Oh wait, In Too Deep. In Too Deep. I don't even remember which one this
hard
is.
ass verses, dope ass fucking verses, but that chorus literally comes out of nowhere and it's garbage. That's my opinion.
I gotta re-listen to the song real
He
quick.
says,
I wrote
call
down
us
here
Long John Silver because we're selfish.
Oh, that was bad. Because we selfish.
Because we selfish. Whatever. We're selfish. It doesn't matter, man.
In Too Deep.
The verse is cool.
I like the song.
The chorus is trash.
I like the hook. I like the chorus. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
Question your take right now.
The beat is weird, but I think it's catchy. The verses aren't amazing, but I like the storytelling there. Yeah, it's him singing.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
I think it's trash. I think this
like
comes
it.
out of nowhere. It doesn't fit the verses at all. I feel like literally the beat changes and it's like, whoa, where the fuck did this come from? Now we're swaying back.
This is M singing shit that I actually like.
Yeah, I kind of liked it too. Like when he layers his, like that's what I'm talking about, layering his vocals. Like when he layers his vocals, they sound a million times better for some reason, as opposed to like when he's
Actually
going with
crooning.
when he's actually crooning, I'm like, turn this off.
Yeah. What else? What notes you got on this one?
That's all I got. 7 out of 10.
All right, moving on. Godzilla featuring Juice WRLD.
Juice
How
WRLD
was
is so
it?
good.
How was it?
Rest in peace.
Undeniably, I think this is going to be the most talked about song on this album.
This and Darkness.
Well,
for
this
sure.
and Darkness, yeah.
But
like,
I think this was
that-
trending when this album came out.
and I think it's going to continue to. It's Rap God 2. I would say that in a lot of, it's way better than Rap God, I think.
Really?
The thing with Rap God is it was fresh and new, and it was the first time M was ever like, I'm just going to show my technical
I'm gonna
ability and I'm
lyrical
going to
miracle
go
on him.
fucking do it. Like
Yeah.
I'm committing to that. But he committed to it in a 7-minute song, and he did it 5 minutes in.
True.
There was so much garbage leading into the fast part.
Yeah, but there's still a virality to Rap God that I don't know if Godzilla can hit, even with the Juice WRLD. Like I think this song people might listen to more as a good song than Rap God, because I think like as a song, this song is better than Rap God. Like has
It's
a better,
3 minutes.
3 minutes,
something.
has a better
Juice
hook,
WRLD's
has better production.
The production's better.
Yeah.
I love Juice WRLD on the hook.
Yeah, like the thing that Rap God has is that it's like meme material, right? Like it is like you're listening to that song to hear him spaz
Dude,
in that last like 5 minutes.
In a TikTok era, I bet this gets bigger than Rap God.
Really?
Yeah.
You think-
Over time, I
can see-
give
I
it
can see
a
people-
week till we see people fucking
Doing the fast
thing
verse
along.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
I can see that.
The thing that I like about this is I think it is the first time on this album that I get what I want, where he 100% commits to the vision. Where his vision on this, it's verbal gymnastics. And I even like that the beat, like that's what Rap God was too, right? Where it's just like, it's technical show off.
Yeah.
With this, I like that the beat reminds me of like going to like one of those trampoline houses where it's just like, it's just bouncing and it's just like, it makes it even easier to do backflips on. Like I can't do a backflip normally. To be fair, I can't do a backflip on a trampoline either, but I can do a front flip where I land on my butt. You know what I'm talking about? But that's me. Eminem can. And I feel like this beat allows him to just spaz in a way where it's like, it makes it even easier for him to do well. And so he's just going to fucking kill. And he does exactly that. Add a fun chorus that from
Juice WRLD.
Somebody that's renowned and has obviously from just dying a lot of like eyes on him and ears on him.
I think the song is excellent. And with Rap God too, like for the comparison, I think Rap God, that instrumental feels like they just picked it out of like an EDM.
Rap God?
Like, Rap God. It's like
what?
Why is this the beat you chose? It's such a weird, like awkward beat, but like, you know, Eminem weirdly enough saves it with his verses. But yeah, Godzilla kind of has more of a full package. I wish he finished that last verse because he kind of stops midway.
Pulls the Chris D'Elia thing.
Yeah, the Chris D'Elia thing, which he's done on on Logic's song Homicide.
Yeah, in the exact same way.
Yeah, in the exact same way. At least he did it better here because on Homicide he goes on, like he plays that for like 30 seconds and it's like, bro, now I have to press skip every time, which sucks. But for here, he only does it for half a second, which I think works way better. And but I do wish he actually finished it as opposed to stopping halfway through whatever line it was, because I feel like he could have stuck the landing on it and would have felt better and more satisfying as opposed to just cutting it.
This to me, I think, is the most re-listenable song that like I can see myself in
I agree.
still listening to this just because it's fun. Having said that, why? To like fast rap, you need to be saying something or else it's just fucking gibberish. I'm gonna just read through some of the lyrics real quick. He finishes the verse going 100% of you is 1/5 of a percent of me. I'm about to fucking finish you, bitch. I'm unfadable. You want a battle? I'm available. I'm blowing up like I'm inflatable. I'm undebatable. I'm unavoidable. I'm unevadable. I'm on the toilet bowl.
Jesus.
I got a trailer full of money and I'm paid in full. I'm not afraid to pull. And then it just like cuts off. What did he just say? What did he just say? All he said was, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You're bad. I'm good. I'm good. Over and over in stupid ass ways that, you know, allow him to have a lot of syllables.
Yeah. I have for worst/best line here, quote, I'm about to set trip vacation plans.
I was so mad about that where he's like, what did he say? Raise your hands if you never gave a damn. I'm about to set trip vacation plans. It's like, I've never heard somebody just come up with a fucking punchline and just literally write 2 bars around it so lazily. Like he literally just threw in fucking rhymes to have this one punchline that none of us wanted to hear. It's like, what did fucking set trip vacation plans, like, dude, set tripping? Like, that's literally, that's not wordplay, man. Like, that's been said 1,000 times, and it's like he must know that from
that was
music
the first
he
time.
listens
That was
to.
the first time I heard set trip vacation plans, and
the word
thought it was
vacation
funny.
plans, yes, because it sounds weird and corny as
for
fuck.
Sure.
Yes,
100%.
but the idea that set tripping and the idea of doing that is nothing new. That is like
Well, I mean, and I'm probably the least knowledgeable about this stuff. I've never heard somebody say it before, but I also don't listen to music that would
people would
be
rap
bringing
about
that up.
set tripping.
Yeah.
But I like it in the context of and of the song of what he's saying, because he's saying like, even on my own shit, like I'm not afraid to fuck you up. It's like, even if we're homies, like this is a
Eminem
message
being
to
crazy.
Jay-Z of like, hey, I'll even like fuck up my boys
Yeah, it's Eminem being being crazy.
Those 2 bars.
with the set trip thing.
You're talking about the ones leading up to him, or whatever. To set them up.
The raise your hand if you never gave a damn. I'm about to set trip vacation plans.
Yeah, I mean,
you
that's
think
why-
that's supposed to scare Jay-Z?
Well, I'm thinking in the
that
context
line.
of the song.
But I'm just saying, like,
You're not scared. Saying that like he's not scared to outshine.
I think it's more so Eminem
I'm
being
sure
like,
Jay-Z heard that and was like, oh fuck.
no, it's definitely more so like Eminem being like, I'm crazy, I'm willing to do whatever. Like you can't predict me.
And I've heard
so
that
that's
was a
that's why I
bad
have
way
that.
to do it.
That's why I have it as best/worst, because like when I heard the line, I was
it's
like,
worse.
I chuckled because I was like, that's funny, but also it's stupid.
To me, it's in the same category as the coming after you like the letter V. Like, it's kindergarten jokes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now, so here's the thing.
Congrats,
They put out
Parliament.
a image of just like how many syllables per second he rapped and like how many words and how many this and whatever. Like, it's a world record. And then our boy Tone Deaf coming back like in the most classic Tone Deaf way, being like, nah, bro, what the fuck? I can totally outdo this. Listen to the song Crispy if you like this type of fast shit. And then look at the lyrics of Crispy because he goes faster, he goes harder, and he's actually saying shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you look through, it's like his verses, he's actually talking about stuff and it's not just unavailable, baitable, pateable, Play-Doh, and fadeable, you know?
I'm with you.
So,
All right.
Darkness.
Hey, hold on,
is the next
before
one.
we move on, sorry. For this one, I'm not the biggest Juice WRLD fan. You know, RP Juice WRLD, he the GOAT. Let's get it. But real shit, only time I've ever seen any Juice WRLD music, I've listened to it, I've heard any of it, was really an hour-long freestyle he did over Eminem beats. And
Really?
to know, like, because I don't know shit about Juice WRLD, but to know that this is where it all ended up at, and like he's on this guy's album, like that's fucking special, man. And like that's
awesome.
really fucking cool.
Because that was one of the things I wondered is
I think it was Tim Westwood.
Like, how did this happen? Like, was this already a song that existed before he passed away and they did that together, or did they buy a Juice WRLD hook? Or
yeah.
like,
I forgot who it was. Somebody just uploaded a picture of them with Juice WRLD saying this was the night we recorded that verse, and they were just all chilling. And
That's
Eminem,
awesome.
Eminem definitely
Yeah.
wasn't around. Not saying Eminem would need to be around to record a verse for him, but
of
still,
course, but like that's still awesome.
pretty sure they
because,
just bought that.
Like, I always find it to be a bummer when like people's music comes out post mortemly, and sometimes it feels like a cash grab.
Yeah.
But if they recorded the song and did all this before he passed away, then
Yeah.
I think that's
But I think even now it
way
would be.
better.
I don't consider it a cash grab. It sounds like a real song. It sounds like something that Juice would fucking be 100% down for if he was alive for the free. So like that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I was really happy to see it.
Before we move on, let me tell you about our sponsors. Robinhood. Shout out to Robinhood. 2020 is the perfect time to start thinking about 2040. Wow. It's true. With Robinhood, you can invest in the markets and earn interest with a competitive APY on uninvested cash. They make it easy to get started and learn as you grow with an intuitive app experience and no commission fees on trades. And stock prices don't have to hold you back. You can buy a piece of a company you love for as low as $1 and build your portfolio a little at a time. You can buy one share, buy half a share, 3 1/4 shares. It's all up to you, your budget and your goals. Your first stock is on the house when you set up your account. You can go to morning.robinhood.com to learn more and claim your free stock. That's morning.robinhood.com to learn more and claim your free stock. Annual percentage yield on uninvested cash is paid by program banks and is variable. Robinhood Financial is not a bank. The free stock offer is subject to terms and conditions. All investments involve risk. Other fees may apply. Visit RBN. Hold on. This is hard to read. rbnhd.co/fees. I'm going to let you know right now. Lowercase r, n next to each other, when there's a lot of them with H's. Woo! Like, look at this. Are you kidding me?
oh my god.
rbnhd.co/fees. There you go. But morning.robinhood.com to get your free stock. Next up, shout out to Honey. Why is it so hard to find coupon codes that actually work? Thanks to Honey, it doesn't have to be. Joey Noel, she's been loving this. She's been using this thing for years. I've been using it for years as well. Pretty much anytime you're on a website and you're looking to buy something, you should just have on Honey. It's just this app or extension. You have it in your Google Chrome, next thing, or whatever your browser is. Next thing you know, it's popping up being like, hey, you can save money. Kind of Funny saves thousands of dollars a year when we print the platinum tier Patreon fulfillments using this, because the vendors we use, we get discounts. And Honey finds us the best discounts automatically, finding the best promo codes and applies them to your cart. It makes online shopping finally feel as easy as it's supposed to be. It works for any site, really, like Target, Best Buy, Sephora, Macy's, eBay, Etsy, anything you're looking at. Honey has found its over 18 million members, over $2 billion in savings. Did you know Honey supports over 30,000 stores online, and they're adding more every single day? Not using Honey is literally just passing up free money. It's free to use and installs in just 2 clicks. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/morning. That's joinhoney.com/morning. I totally recommend it. It really is silly to not do this. And finally, shout out to Raid Shadow Legends. Introducing Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is a mobile RPG done right. Not every RPG game must be cartoony and cutesy. Enough with the candy, rainbows, unicorns, and bright colors. Let's get real. Let's get raw. Let's get dark, epic, and awesome. Now you can play Raid both on mobile and on your desktop. The game is cross-device, so you can play with the same user and switch between devices whenever you want and however you want. You can check out the graphics and details on those champions, and in Raid, you have the ability to personally customize and choose the artifacts and and design a unique mastery build for each one of them. And the best part, it's free to play. More than 15 million players worldwide have already downloaded the game. The best part, like I said, it's free to play. What are you waiting for? You can download Raid via the links in the description. That is patron.me/kindafunnyshow raid. Patron.me/kindafunnyshow raid, which you'll also find below in the description, and you get a special package with 100,000 silver, 2 clan boss keys, 10 times mystery shards, and an amazing unique champion. This package will be available only for the next 30 days. Check it out, link in the description. Back to the review. Darkness. We already kind of talked a lot about it, but
Yeah.
what are your notes on it here?
So at first I thought sampling "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend" was a bad idea and the corniest decision that they could have ever made. I think it actually really worked. I really liked the production on it at the end of the day. I think keeping the double meaning throughout the whole song is pretty impressive and really good. I love the delivery. I really like the hook. I really like the instrumental. And the music video is really good. And so I think at the end of the day, for me, the song was very touching and enjoyed it.
That's the second time I heard you guys mention the first part about sampling this "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend." That's lost on me. What is the sample?
Hello, darkness, my old
Have you ever
friend.
watched Arrested Development?
Oh wait, Nick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did he do with that?
Pumpkin spice latte.
Hello, pumpkin, my old friend.
Wow,
Yeah, they did that.
I did not even hear that until right this second, right now. Oh shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
And so, like,
Your,
when
who is
your
that?
worldview of
Whose
Nick
song is that?
falling apart.
Yeah.
Whose song is that?
Simon and Garfunkel.
And it's very corny because what?
It's
just super famous?
It's like an Arrested Development bit, right?
I mean, it's just like it is like one of the
It's like one of those songs they use in memes, like
like
when
it's
you
like in the arms of the angel.
yeah,
like when
you-
something's sad.
something like
Faces
something sad
heaven?
happens, and then like you zoom in on the person's face, and like they're sad, and they go, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." Like it's like
Oh,
it's a
so
meme.
if you're making a sad song and you sample like the sad shit, it's like, come on.
Yeah,
bro,
well, he
dude,
sampled a
try
song.
a little harder. Is that what's going on?
He sampled
Yeah.
a song that's specifically like a very memeable song, like a song that's been used for like in like comedies. And stuff.
It's when we say lowest common denominator, it's like if you were to be like, all right, Tim, bless.
I hope
You
Nick's
guys
watching.
need to write and make an Eminem song that's about a shooting.
Yeah.
And it's it's about being like sad and introspective. What's the sample? We'd be like, oh, it's probably gonna be that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, have you
Okay,
you know
okay.
Ooh, What You Say?
Yeah.
Like, you know how that song came from, like, or not, didn't come from, but it
I
was
have
used
no
in.
idea what that came from.
Okay, well, it was used in SNL for like a skit or like Mad TV or
Ooh,
something.
what you say?
Yeah.
But that exact song or the sample, the thing it sampled?
That's the original.
The original song. So the song that Jason Derulo sampled.
He did sample it. See, we're getting too lost
We're
here
getting in
because
the
Jason
weeds.
Derulo did sample it.
Yeah.
Totally unrelated.
But it's kind of like that. But anyway, it
Here's the
works.
thing.
Anyway, it works.
it should be the corniest thing that does not work. It absolutely works.
Yes.
Like that's the thing is like
I think
this-
it was hard.
Yeah,
especially
is,
coming after the fucking Juice WRLD song. I feel like this is like that creepy feeling you get of like, oh shit, this is postmortem or posthumous. How do you say it?
Postmortem, I
Mortem.
think. Yeah.
No, but I meant posthumous. Posthumous.
Oh.
when it comes out after you die, posthumous.
posthumous.
Posthumous. There we go. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I've always read it. I don't know. I've never heard it. I've always read it.
Malone?
Hey, dude, I read it. Man, whatever. But yeah, so that it set me up in that in a cool way, and I loved the sample. Like
Yeah.
I looked into the lyrics just to hear what they were saying in the background, and once I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, obviously that's what he's saying. But I didn't know the song, so I didn't.
If you
know.
heard the song, you'd be like, I fucking know that song. But it's the type of shit
I didn't
where
know from the
you-
Nick apologies or the Nick pumpkin spice, whatever, some shit. Now it makes a little more sense. But I've been listening to this song. I mean, I've listened to this album at least I want to say 50 times.
Holy
front
shit.
to back.
This one-
I've been telling you I'm nervous, man. I've been spending this whole weekend listening to this fucking song. I'm supposed to be listening to Mac Miller. He's supposed to be going one, but I'm scared, man. I thought I was gonna have nothing to say. Yeah.
Gotta love Cool Greg.
You guys are professionals, man. But hey, so we're still on the song, right?
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of people in my tweets and shit saying like, "Hey man, the whole thing's like basically a double entendre or whatever." And I'm like, I got two things to say about that. First off, the worst ad lib in my fucking life that I've ever heard
yes, I know which
was double entendre.
I hated that because the line, I forget what bar it was, but the bar he said, I was like, oh, that's hard. And then you hear him whisper double entendre. And I was like, dang
Shots
it.
after what was it? Round after round after round after round. That's a lot of shots. Or no. What was it?
Yeah, no, something like that.
round after round after round. I'm loaded.
Was that what? Yeah. Oh my god.
come
Terrible.
on,
Do you
bro.
recall this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The end of the second verse, I think.
Because the line was so hard, and then he said double entendre, and I was like, "Why?"
But to
It
me,
rhymed.
dude,
It rhymed. I'll give him that.
That's,
It rhymed.
You don't
that's
usually
the
rhyme
thing is, like,
ad-libs.
I feel like that's the moment he gives up. That's the moment he's like,
Just
oh man,
falls off.
I don't have anything more to say in this song
Yeah.
that actually works.
Because the first, like, what, I want to say, like, 8 bars, they're not double entendre at all. He's just straight up talking just regular life. So we're thinking, like, maybe the second half of the first verse, the full second verse, and none of the third verse is a double entendre. So that's a verse and a half. So that's what, half the song, not counting the chorus. So I'll give it to you, but then a song we're going to come up on later, Never Love Again, that has the whole song.
Wow.
Or almost the whole song.
Almost the whole song. Yeah.
So he still doesn't fully commit, but still, like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot more, even on this album, than on this song, Double Entendres, that are better, I'd say.
Absolutely
But
Anything more on
let's
Darkness?
Jump ahead.
I gave it a 9 out of 10
cool.
for the
Yeah, it's
context
hard.
of this
It's hard.
album.
It's hard.
Then Leaving Heaven, the Skylar Grey song, where he talks about his dad.
God,
I think the verses were hard. Lost me on the chorus.
That was my thing. Is like the verses I actually enjoyed, like somewhere in the middle where I liked his flow a lot, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like you're doing some stuff. He has some change ups. Like in just the second verse, he switches his flow up and back like twice. And I was like, I appreciate that. Like it didn't feel cookie cutter in a way a lot of his stuff normally does now.
So I'll read my notes verbatim. So it's gonna be a no from me, dog. Skylar Grey sounds like Skylar Grey. Eminem's verses are boring to me. Why is he comparing himself to Macklemore? M calling his dad a cocksucker and saying "See you in hell" has me rolling my eyes and thinking this is a song for a specific section of his audience.
Yeah.
Worst line: call them toy soldiers because they just wind up on their backs.
It's like, all right, what the fuck? Yeah, dude, the Macklemore shit. It's like, it does feel targeted to an audience where I'm like, I don't know that you want to be galvanizing these guys.
Yeah, but like at this point, I feel like that makes up such a strong portion of his audience that I feel like he almost has to. Like he almost has to like have the "fuck you, stepdad" or like him comparing himself to other rappers that like aren't bad, but
I mean, dude, my
he just
thing
does it
is,
because
and
he
it's
can.
just, I know a lot of people had their feelings on Macklemore. Like, Macklemore has put out stronger albums than M has in the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
Macklemore puts out like better conscious shit than Darkness.
Yeah.
Imagine if Macklemore did Darkness. It would be so much fucking better than M's bullshit.
Yeah,
And like we're saying, Darkness is 9 out of 10 for M.
yeah.
Doing what he did, you know. But
It's really weird. Like I keep telling you guys, I was listening to this album fucking beforehand. I was listening to the Mac Miller album. I really wanted Mac Miller a shout out because it came out the same day or whatever.
that whole thing is bizarre.
What?
They dropping it the same day as that. Like I wonder why.
Yeah, no, it's confusing. We're gonna come in later for the Lock It Up song or whatever. For me, we'll talk about that more. But like, I was like, really, like, let's do it. And then when I heard the Macklemore get the shout out, I was like, maybe there's a chance. Maybe
Wasn't
he
even a
does
shout
say
out, though. It was
something.
just straight up
It's a
diss.
diss.
I mean, it's a diss, but I'm
a
sorry.
reference.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being weird, but like when Eminem disses you, like I'm using the corniest of all fucking white rappers, like Lil Xan went instantly to his Instagram. I was like, oh shit, Eminem just fucking dissed me. What the fuck? Like, you know, it's an honor almost in a sense to
Oh,
certain
absolutely.
people, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what Macklemore's stance on it is because he's actually got like Grammys and
Macklemore
shit,
probably
right?
doesn't
Like, so he
care.
doesn't really care
Eminem-
too much at this
'cause
point.
Macklemore
But
knows-
back in the day, Macklemore would fucking lose his fucking shit
Yeah.
to even be known.
Oh, to be known, yeah.
Right?
Because
So,
at this point,
like-
Macklemore is famous enough, and like he knows who Eminem is, and so Macklemore is probably just like, that's cool.
That's how I felt like
It's a
Tyler
line.
took the diss on Kamikaze. Like, Eminem dissed me.
Yeah, even though
Interesting.
the specific Tyler diss that Eminem did, if I was Tyler, I'd probably be a bit offended because it was like, well, it wasn't just like a
Man, Tyler said that shit about himself.
True.
He go crazy.
True.
Tyler go crazy.
fair,
Yeah.
but also it was one of the ones where
Tasteless.
yeah, it was very tasteless the way Eminem did it. But yeah, you're right. Tyler definitely is like one of those dudes where he's like, it's not like Tyler hasn't said that stuff in his music.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's not. They ain't hurt him.
So anyway, Leaving Home. Or Leaving Heaven is what it is.
Yeah.
Moving
I don't
on.
want to hear
Oh.
anything with Skylar Grey. I want to hear him with Jesse Reyes.
Five
If
out-
you guys
five
want to
out
get
of
the
10,
girl
by
on
the way,
it,
for that one.
Yeah, she's
her.
dope.
Not this one. This one, every time I hear this song,
Or like Billie Eilish. Like if you're gonna pull together like a pop star or like a pop singer, like I feel like you can go pretty unique nowadays.
Here's my thing,
talking-
dude. Skylar's dope. Y'all be hating. Having said all that, I get why you're hating. I
Yeah.
get what it
Like,
is.
this
It
is
just
what-
all blends. It
to
just
me-
all sounds the same.
To
It's
me,
like,
this is the equivalent of Byleth being announced for Smash.
Yeah.
Of like seeing a Skylar Grey.
No, dude, that's-
seeing a Skylar Grey feature on
Exactly,
Eminem album.
exactly.
It's like somebody else could have taken the spot and would have been more unique.
yeah. Yaya featuring Royce the 5'9", Black Thought, Q-Tip, and Dane Wan.
Can I start this one off?
Yeah.
I remember when that Joe
Mr.
Budden
Porter.
beef was going off. Whatever, he was explaining the shit with Eminem on his podcast, and he was saying like they were choosing our beats and they were mixing up our verses, and it wasn't the music we were making that was getting put out, right? As soon as this song started playing, I didn't even see the features. I didn't know it was Black Thought and fucking Q-Tip and all these legends and shit. The song starts playing, I'm like, what the fuck is this slaughterhouse ass song playing? Like, I don't want to hear this shit, bro. It sounds like a beat that's like, I'm about to hear some good bars over some bullshit that I do not want to actually
noise.
personally
Yeah,
listen.
no, that was my.
Yeah,
that's the
noise,
exact thing I
thank
wrote.
you.
Like, I would have preferred something more boom bappy, but this is like very noisy.
Like, whoa, yeah, I'm not with it, man. And for me personally, legends, and I respect everybody on this song.
Yeah.
All 4 of them legends. Worst song on the album. For
Really?
me personally, yeah. This is the only one I would never play by clicking.
My
on
only
it.
issue with the song is that I think the beat's too noisy. I think the verses are fine. I think like
And the verses are better
yeah.
than fine.
Like Royce
bro,
Black Thought,
yeah.
Q-Tip. Like I think they killed it.
I just can't get there.
I have for the worst line, leave these pussies stretched out like the Octomom, which is a dated reference, and then he follows that up a few bars later with, "You're like a vagina problem to a
do you think he's
diabolical gynecologist."
I feel like you ever watch Internet Explorers and then they just like do the little random challenges at the end, like, oh, let's see how much like Rob Kardashian news clickbait
Yeah,
bullshit.
no, that's what it seems like.
I
It's
feel like
how
he's
many-
just searching up his name and he's seeing this thing from 2009. He clicks and he's like, "Oh, look over here, it's Octomom." What
It
the
also,
fuck's
like-
that bitch up to? You know what I mean?
Also, 2 vagina references in one verse.
Hey, man.
is a lot.
That is, yeah, man.
Yeah, this song, it's weird. I feel you guys where it's like, to get all these guys on one song and then it's this, like over this beat is a little upsetting. Like, I like noise rap to an extent. Like, I like when beats are just like,
Yeah.
hey, like just
Doing a lot.
We're throwing it all in here.
Yeah.
But not with this group.
Yeah, definitely
God damn
this.
it, crew.
Yeah, this crew. Like Royce, sure. It's like I feel like that's Slaughterhouse's
that
thing.
is Slaughterhouse's thing.
Yeah, but like Q-Tip and Black Thought, like let
nah.
them breathe a bit.
And also, Q-Tip, give me a verse, man.
Yeah.
I want a verse so bad.
No,
like,
not to
because
jump
his
ahead.
chorus was dope. Like, I
Oh, yeah.
love the way it sounds, just but not over this beat. And like, obviously, Black Thought kills it.
yeah.
But not to jump ahead, like this is the Slaughterhouse song that he needs. So it's like, hey, we got a good Slaughterhouse song in the end. That didn't sound like the normal Slaughterhouse song that we
Yeah.
usually get. So let's go.
That said, I wish Eminem did more posse cuts. Like
Me too.
more like
He has the ability to create the best posse cut of
Yes.
all time. Like, he could put a whole album out of that's just him with features that are
Dude,
just like, let's
it'd
just
be
make
so
dreams
good.
happen.
'Cause
Let's
every-
just get every song to be the thing you want.
every time I hear one of these songs, it takes me back to Bitch Please 2, right?
Oh my
or like
God.
any of the older ones where like M's always going last and M's killing it. He's able to shine more because he's had people go before him and kind of set the stage
Forever.
for him to come up and just kill it. And so like, I think this song, like I liked Eminem's verse, and then, later on we'll talk about I forget what the I Will with Slaughterhouse, and I think like that sets M up in a place to shine when you are doing rapidy rap. Having people rapidy rap before you and you coming through and rapidy rapping better, I think that allows you to shine way more.
Totally. Hell yeah. But yeah, it sucks. I feel like it's a wasted opportunity because this should be 10 out of 10 dope.
Yeah.
And it's like, has so many elements of that. And then just the beat kind of really royally fucks that all up.
Yeah, I put it at a 7 out of 10.
Oh, Lord. We get Stepdad intro and then Stepdad. We've already talked a lot about this,
Yeah.
but
I want to say the Stepdad intro completely unnecessary, and I'm somebody who likes intros. I really felt like the line that it references was like the strongest line of the song. So you really didn't even need that intro. Like I didn't think it complimented it. I really just think if it was like it brought attention to something that you were bringing so much attention to. In my opinion, it's probably something that was real to him, and he probably got smacked up one time for like doing that light thing, and he just was like, I want to make sure motherfuckers understand that shit was
Yeah.
real and that shit really happened. But yeah, to me, it was like it did not even need an intro, and if it was, keep it fucking Alfred Hitchcock. Or was that part of the did he take that and make a song about the Alfred?
No.
You sure it had nothing to do with the Alfred Hitchcock
Absolutely.
shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. See, that would have been dope if he was like referencing a movie or something. And
no.
okay, that'd have been something
It's just
there.
fucking random. And the fact that this comes after the posse cut.
Yeah, no,
it's
it's
like
so
the
weird.
sequencing
Yeah.
of this album is like bizarre as fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I didn't like the intro. It's one of those things where I'm
Unnecessary.
like, it being its individual song means that if I listen to the album on shuffle, then at a certain point I'm just gonna hear a kid fighting with their stepdad, and that's
Yeah.
not something I want to hear.
Not at all.
But
Give me, bless.
yeah,
What's your favorite line of this goddamn song?
Oh man. So he in his verse he's talking about how like his stepdad, something about a dog. I forget what the exact context is, but about like how because of his stepdad he had to put down his dog. And then somewhere comes the line, quote, "I'm talking euthanasia, like kids in Taiwan." Like that's the line that kind of pushed me over the edge while I was driving to work the morning this came out. I heard that line and I yelled at the top of my lungs in my car out of frustration.
It's
that
just
line
like,
fucking
no.
sucks. But can I tell you that what pushed me over the line? As a proud Chihuahua owner,
What the fuck?
as soon as that song was playing, bro, I looked at Boy, it's my dog. I was like, Boy, man, don't ever, if you see Eminem, run. That's the one rule we got now. You got to get the fuck up out of there, bro. Don't murder fucking Chihuahuas in songs. That shit ain't dope. And don't fucking bury your bitch ass stepdad next to my dead Chihuahua too. For me, if you actually loved him, why you burying him next to something that you hated? That shit ain't. It don't make no sense to me. I'm happy the song's fake. Fuck that shit.
Oh my god! All right, we're moving on
Suck
to
as
Marsh,
shit.
which we talked about a little bit earlier. The Martian song.
Stepdad is 4 out of 10, by the way. Marsh, I have it at a 6 out of 10. The fact that I want to like the song. It's just the fact that I've heard the song a million times from Lil Wayne specifically that I can't get behind it. Even though the vibe of the song reminds me of On Fire from Recovery, which I do like that song. I really like On Fire, but this one it's hard for me to really get past the fact that I've heard the song before. Even though like I think the song itself, removed from that context, it's like fine.
It is fine. You know, this reminds me though just how much I like Wayne and M together, and it sucks that the few times we got him have never, well, most of the time haven't been living up to the potential. Like
Really?
drop
No.
the world.
Well,
or
Drop the
whatever,
World didn't
which is like,
necessarily.
but No Love.
No Love,
like,
I thought was
that
fantastic.
to me is one of the songs that one of the Eminem songs I think ages like a wine.
Yes.
Like a fine wine.
I'm
where
with
it's like
you.
it gets better over time, where it's like every time I listen to it, like, dude, there is nothing more hype. There are very few things more hype in Eminem's discography than when M starts rapping and doing his verse and Wayne's in the background just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah.
And you have that, like, it's kind of like what I was talking earlier. You have that slow build of Lil Wayne being Lil Wayne and
Yeah.
you know not being rapidy rap, right? He's just like giving you bar, and like he's
It's
like,
a dope verse though.
Yeah, I mean it's a great verse, but it's
a tee up.
It's
for
a
just,
tee up because it's like it's Lil Wayne, so it's laid back. You're vibing, right? You're not necessarily like listening for like the intricacies or anything. You're like laid back, vibing, hearing Lil Wayne essentially build up this track, and then Eminem comes through and just bats it out of the park.
Yeah,
and
man.
It's just such a great alley oop.
Love it.
I want that
think,
again.
I'm gonna listen to that
Marsh-
later today.
Oh, same.
I think first off, I do want to say "Drop the World" I thought was a hard ass song, so I don't know what all this hate's coming from. A little bit of corniness to it, but that shit was crazy. But dude, fucking Marsh was crazy. I liked it. I think the chorus was definitely. I don't want to say corny because we're using that word a lot. And I don't think it was corny or cringe. I don't think it was the greatest. I don't hate it, but I think the chorus is the worst part of the whole song. I think his verses were tough, and the beat was nice, and I like the style he's going, where he's just like, I mean, hey, we all know Lil Wayne as the Martian, but like, for me, like, ooh, you don't own that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I could be a fucking Martian. I see
He
what you're
made
saying.
2 albums.
Bro, I could do just a song, just playing around with the word. His name is Marshall, and he's a Martian, and he ends the song. Doesn't he say he's like, how could I even see a fucking drought? I'm named after wetlands or
Yeah,
whatever,
named
right?
after
Like, it's not the
wetlands.
best bar or whatever, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, he's going with the whole thing. Like, this is my name. Like, let me just play with my fucking name. Let me play with my own name. This is my name, man.
The
Like, come on.
worst line of the song is "I look up to myself like a fucking headstand." I thought that line was terrible.
Time out. I didn't hear that line. I don't even understand the line. I look up to myself like a headstand.
Exactly.
What's a headstand?
Like when you're standing on your head upside down, so he looks up to himself. I don't get it either.
I don't get it. When you're doing a headstand, you're not looking forward?
No, you are.
Yeah,
Up
but
to
if you,
myself.
yeah,
It's just a bad line.
it's just bad. It's just bad. What score did you give it?
I'm so
6 out of
dumb
10.
to understanding it. I still don't understand it.
All right.
Whatever.
Never Love Again.
Hard. Hard. If
I-
y'all want to go for double entendres, this was it.
Yo, I
This
love
was
the
it.
song. I thought this shit was dope. It's the same thing for me where I'm like, your third verse, you gave up. Why the fuck would you give up?
Yeah.
You were so good with the whole fucking thing. And then it's just pills. It's just pills.
I thought it was uninspired. Logic made the song in 2014 on Under Pressure. It's called Nikki. And it's essentially the exact same thing with Logic rapping about a girl named Nikki, but he's actually talking about nicotine. And
yeah,
I thought
Cunning Linguist did it back on Beautiful Girl when it was fucking a girl, but it was Mary Jane,
right.
but it's actually about weed. It's like everyone's done it. I think that this is cool because it's kind of what Cool Greg was saying earlier of just like, we've heard these things, but we haven't heard it this way. And I think that like he does such a good job where the first couple verses could be about a girl more so than a lot of these other ones where it's like we kind of give the like
Logic,
all right, we're in on it, but we're gonna like just let it slide. Logic, and then he just gives it up.
Logic Nikki specifically, I think, is so close to this and is way better. Like I think like in terms of delivery, flow, lyricism, instrumental, and the way he does kind of stick to it, I think it's literally the exact same song to me, except this didn't do it as good as Logic.
Now, I agree with what you're saying, and I will say that I think Logic Nicki was late to the game, and we're talking about a song that's what, like, years old.
Yeah, Nikki came
so
out in
like this
2014.
is 2020, bro. Like
Yeah.
like
I mean like it is like a trope in rap music to do like the double entendre thing when talking about a girl, right? We look
that's
at
my top. That's my favorite. of
Like I
everything.
used to
I'm
love
thinking
her
of
with Common,
Kanye's.
like Kanye, Homecoming.
those ones, and they've all fucked it up to me.
Really? See,
They've all at one point because they gave up. They
Yeah,
all
and
gave
at
up.
some
They all
point-
made it very clear that it was not that.
Enemies with Benefits. Fantastic
made
fucking song, but it's just like at some point in the verse, it gives up the ghost where you're just like, I get what you're doing, so it stops working.
Yeah,
But-
it has to be cool. I don't remember what song it is, but I think it might. It probably. I'm imagining it's the third or second verse of this song. But he says, "I'm armed to the teeth." No, we're actually back. I'm sorry, I'm bringing it back. When he's talking about what was the song about Las Vegas?
Darkness.
When he says, "I'm armed to the teeth," sorry, I just
Going back,
remembered
yeah.
this part. Yeah. Holy shit, that's a hard ass bar, right? Because he's talking about I'm armed to the teeth, and he's like what? Like he's coughing up, like armed to the teeth, like he's coughing
that
up
what he's
the
talking about?
drugs. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. Because when I heard it, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember what song it was because I didn't see it in the music video. I just heard it and I imagined it, and I was like, oh shit, that's what he's talking about, like armed to the teeth, you know? Because he does later on, or maybe this song. I think he's talking about eating out of the palm of my hand, the pills, palm of your hand. I'm like. That is some shit where like he's taking references we've used for fucking so many years and he's putting on like some shit
Some
that's
new
very
context.
relatable, right? And like, new context, but like for me, relatable. I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty fucking crazy, you know? So
Yeah.
he does again. Like I want to bring it back to the Young Ma argument, right? Where it's, dude, we fucking are gonna give her credit on that. We got to give him credit on he's doing some crazy shit with almost every song he's doing. It's just we expect so much more out of him for these things.
Yeah. And so the score I gave it was 4 out of 10, just because I feel like I've heard it so many times, and this one specifically didn't do anything special to me.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Really?
Where it's like I think it did it well, but we've heard it a million times, and you have to do something really fucking special. And also, I don't think that he committed the entire way. But I thought that as a song, it works, and I feel like a lot of the times these don't work as songs. They work more as like, oh, that's a cool experience. It's like the twist is crazy, you know. Then we got Little Engine.
I like the song. I think the song is fun. I think the production is good. I think Dr. Dre killed it.
Well, that was my thing. I'm listening to this. I'm like, Dre produced this.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. I'm like, Dre produced
Yeah,
this.
and he even mentions it, like he references it multiple times in the song of like, me
Well, there's
and
a lot of
back
Dre
together.
references. Yeah. But I was like, early on, I was like, this sounds like Dre. And then when he started mentioning, I'm like, I want to look this up just to confirm. But yeah.
You told me, or you said earlier when we were talking about before we start going in the in-depth song part, you said something about this album reminds you of Encore or the singles of Recovery. I didn't listen to Recovery, but the We Made You one. This is the first
Relapse,
song where I'm like, I get that. That's the feeling I get from this. I'm like, why did you have all those celebrities in the chorus? Like, what was that chorus? But I mean, actually, with the Young Ma song, the second song, why'd you have these celebrity names in the chorus? Like, what does that add to it?
Like
It
the
feels
references.
very.
It dates it.
It
does.
not only so much dates it, but it just feels very Recovery. Like the singles on that shit, like it's all about celebrities. I'm not gonna say it's TMZ. Relapse. There we go. I'm not gonna say like it's TMZ, but it's definitely like we're talking about celebrities for no reason. They're just in the chorus, and there's I'm Kim Kardashian with a dash of win. Like what the fuck? What the hell does that mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I got from that song a lot. Whereas it was the chorus was really like try hardy.
What you got, Bless?
7 out of 10. I think the verses are decent. They weren't like none of the verses were necessarily memorable to me, but I did like the sound of the song and the production and the hook and stuff.
Yeah, I'd say the beat is the best beat on the whole album. If I were to make a song, it'd either be this beat, which is number one. The second beat would be the song with Royce that we already heard.
See,
You gonna learn.
I think it's probably somewhere below Darkness and Godzilla, but I do think it's one of the better beats on the album.
Really, you put those songs, those beats over it?
Yes, I think the dark.
Shit,
I really like that the Darkness production in Godzilla. I think is really well done.
Going back to one of your earliest questions of the show.
Yeah.
What do I want to see from him? I want to see a 7-song album fully produced by Dre
Oh yeah.
with very choice features. No overabundance of anything. No skits. No, fuck
No
that.
filler.
One skit, a Paul skit.
Paul skit, yes.
A Paul skit right in the goddamn middle. That's what I want to
Yeah,
see.
and that was actually the thing I meant to bring up earlier when we were talking about like the Alfred Hitchcock skits. Is that like M's had way better skits, in his discography. Like when you look at Paul, when you look at like if you want to talk about Ken Kniff, or like any of his other reoccurring bits, I think you can look at 6 other M albums that have better skits
but
here
I don't think it
than him.
matters to him because those are things that he dreamt up. It's like we're at Kind of Funny, right? And we can come up with these cool ass little things to do in between. But imagine when we reach out to our dreams and actually get those from them. That's the only thing that's with me was like knowing Eminem and growing up on Eminem as like a father figure. Realistically, like. Fuck, holy shit! Like he would love to have Alfred Hitchcock. He's the king of horror.
For sure.
This is the horror rapper. Like like he has to. It has to
Show
be
him
that,
more respect
bro.
then. That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
Show who?
Hitchcock.
More respect?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah. But he a 40-year-old man. He don't know what that even means. He's trying his best.
Lock It Up featuring Anderson .Paak.
Oh, I
God
love
damn,
this song.
Anderson .Paak needs to be on every song
Dude,
going
that's what I'm
forward.
saying,
Everyone's
dude.
song. Everyone's song gets an Anderson .Paak
Anderson
feature,
.Paak
bro.
is so good.
Pac. That's how you say it?
I don't know, man.
I don't fucking know, bro.
Pac-
Baby, I
Pac-
read
Pac-
this
Pac?
shit. I don't know how to say this shit.
I'm with you.
Hey, yo, that was crazy. He was so good.
Yes.
Like all of it worked so fucking well. Like I would never think Eminem and him would work. And remember, guys, I told you I'm listening to this Mac Miller fucking album, and I'm thinking I want this Mac Miller shout out. Let's fucking go for this shit. We get a Macklemore one. I'm like, oh shit, maybe it's possible. This song plays. I'm like, okay, let's get one. It's on the same day. Let's get one. And they homies. We know they know each other. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go. We get a fucking Schoolboy Q shout out to kill out the show. His best friend. Mac's best friend. So I had these dumbass fucking dreams. They almost got because what did he say? He's like, I got this shit to a Q, like a schoolboy. Right? Some don't come to
Something
Trick
like that,
Toy. You're a chew toy. Some shit like that. And
Yeah.
he ended the verse like that, the last verse. I'm like, so fucking close, man. So close. But it's all good. I don't think Eminem. I don't even know if Mac Miller was like an Eminem fan. I've never even heard him say Eminem's name. We've heard
He
Mac
probably
Miller. We've heard
was.
Macklemore say Eminem's name.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. I was just very interested to see how that come together as like a full story, but it didn't work out like that.
Yeah, I think this song, I think the hook is up there with Godzilla. I think, this is one of the best hooks on the album. I think Anderson .Paak totally uplifts this song.
Absolutely.
Even if Eminem is doing his worst rapping ever, it still
Yeah.
wouldn't make this like it
And he's not, though.
Yeah, and he's not, and he's doing fine.
This is
Like
fine,
he's
yeah.
doing decent. And so for me, the song overall, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think the song is great.
Anderson definitely added to it so much because like even the chorus is so simple, right? Where he's saying like, for me, like I almost lost it. I gotta lock it, right? For me, it's like you're thinking
It's
like
chill as fuck.
Yeah.
Just think
It's
about
smooth.
Eminem.
It's
Like
just
Eminem,
smooth.
I almost lost it. I can't say too much. I gotta chill the fuck out and put it back in there because if I give them too much, they're gonna eat me alive. Like look at them, So it's like I feel like it was so perfect, man, the way he did it.
Farewell.
I hate the song.
Nope, one of the best songs on the album.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Tim, where are you at?
Go. It's whatever. It's fine. This to me it's good. I like that his verses were at least consistent.
I think he's been trying to hit this little childish
Nursery rhyme.
the Grinch that stole Christmas ass motherfucking Dr. Seuss ass kind of thing, right? Like he's trying to go for it, man, and he's been trying to do that since I really stopped fucking with him, and that's when like Encore, right? And I feel like this is the first time he actually nailed it, where
Like
it's
Evil
like
Deeds?
He's yeah,
The Father,
War-
please forgive
and
me
I
if
hate
I know
that. Like I gave up on Encore. You guys, this whole time I've been really quiet in the beginning of this show,
Yeah.
because you guys were talking about these albums. I'm like, I didn't give them a chance because they didn't deserve it, in my opinion. He came back with Recovery, which was like a fail, but then Kamikaze turn it into the story. That's why I'm back. I'm back in the fucking mojo for that. Other than that, it's like, yeah, when I'm listening to this song, I'm like, he nailed the idea of trying to make a fucking poppy song, and I don't want to say pop song. I'm talking about poppy. Like, really, I'm not talking about pop.
It's upbeat.
It's a song like that. And I'm like, dude, I think he nailed the chorus. When you guys said you guys liked the chorus on the song, I think it was like the sixth song of the album. When you guys liked that song, I was like, you guys are
In Too Deep.
In Too Deep. I was like, what did you guys like?
I like him for the same reason. The chorus. I like both of these.
I think
choruses.
he nailed this. I think he fucked up on that. I think that chorus comes out of nowhere. I think this chorus is like, the whole song is like, dude, he even starts it hella gritty. Like, for me, like, if you know, you'd fuck the earth. You know, I ain't gonna say the bad words, you know what I mean? 'Cause, you know, we gotta be some money. But like, you know, I really feel like he nailed the whole strategic routine. This reminds me of a King Lo song. This reminds me of somebody who understands how to do it and just doing their own thing. And like, I really feel like this is top songs of the album, but it doesn't have any standalone verses or standalone choruses or anything like that. But just as together as a song, it's cool. It's hard, in my opinion.
So for me, I think this song to me sounds like a song written for an entirely different artist. Like I wrote here that it sounds like it's written for like Nas and Damian Marley for whenever they put it out.
Really?
Yeah, like it has like that that reggaeton kind of bounce to it, and it's something that I wouldn't have imagined Eminem kind of going for, at least like without a feature that was like Damian Marley or somebody who was of that ilk featured on it. For him to just be doing this by himself, I feel like is weird. And the subject matter he's rapping about, because he's rapping about a girl, right? Like I didn't really connect to it at all. I didn't think it worked. And he has a line on here that has my worst line. That's, if the world had a dick, you would fuck the earth. And I'm like,
the first verse, the first song.
I think it's the first line. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Opening with that immediately for me set the tone.
It sets a bad tone for sure. But I think the song is better than better than that line.
Right there.
I think I'm somewhere between the Damian Marley Nas stuff. Like I wouldn't say that, but you say it, I'm like, that kind of makes sense. I feel like this is very different, and that's what I enjoy. His flow, I've never heard M flow like this. And for him to be 11 albums in, countless features in, I'm kind of bored of his flows. So when he does something different, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'm into this, and I think it worked.
I give it a 3 out of 10.
Damn, 11 albums in. Hove 13 albums in. Every album, different sound, man. This guy. He can't even keep up, bro. He ain't in the conversation.
This album's still going somehow. We have 3 more songs. Well, 2 more songs and a fucking outro. So no regrets.
I wrote down here, I can't care about this song. It's aggressively boring.
This is the most like, if this song was earlier in the album and this album was like a lot shorter, I feel like it'd be like, oh, that was a good song. It's just like,
now I'm just like, I don't have time for this.
We have this next song, like the entire time I'm looking at the track list and I'm just like, we're about to get to the Slaughterhouse song. Like, I don't want to listen to this shit. You know? I don't know. I have nothing to say about it.
I think his verse was hard as shit, and I think the chorus was hard as shit, dude. Like, I feel like this is another a monster where he was like, I don't know how much he knows, but like he got his fucking hooks in the youth, and he's trying to fucking get this new age of guys. But by fucking rocking with Don, bro, like I really think
Don is.
Yeah, so I didn't know who Don was either.
Don he was just on Jack Boys from Travis Scott.
How many face tats does he have?
I don't think he has any face tats personally. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any.
I like
face
his
tats.
glasses.
Yeah, but you know, dude, but he's. What's up, like?
I'm fucking around, bro.
I know I'm talking about, but the chorus does not sound like a face tat kind of motherfucking singer.
I just don't know who he is, so I imagine
he's
he
a
has face
singer,
tats.
bro. He sings like on some Ty Dolla $ign kind of thing. Like
okay.
he's a singer.
He's
It's the
that
chorus. Think about the chorus, bro. Yeah, like he crazy. Now I'm really happy to see that he's on this shit because he ended 2019. With Travis, now he's starting 2020 with motherfucking M. Like, hey, dude, he's going to go crazy. Yeah, man.
So, all right, skipping to
but also, I thought those verses were hard as shit. I'm really surprised to hear you guys not think those verses are hard because these verses on this song reminded me of the song Stepping Stones. Like, it reminded me of that.
To
like,
me,
it's
just too little too late. It's just like, it's in the sequencing of this album where I've only listened to this album front to back. By the time we get to it, I just don't have the energy. So it's like, maybe I need to go back and listen to it. It's just a song.
Yeah,
but it's.
I think these verses stand out.
Like we've crossed the hour mark
real
at this
shit.
point.
Sorry, bro.
No, not on this. The album.
Oh yeah.
So to end it, there's the Alfred outro, whatever. It is what it is. Going back though, final song, I Will, featuring King Crooked versus 5'9", Joel Ortiz, the Slaughterhouse reunion.
Man.
King
minus
Crooked,
Button.
of course, is Crooked Eye, who is like the dopest person on Instagram, and I know all these guys talking about 50 Cent and Will Smith and shit. But Crooked Eye goes,
Who are these guys?
smokes a cigar.
Are we those guys?
The Internet Explorers. He smokes a fucking goddamn cigar and he talks to his fans every single night about hip hop. Every single fucking night, bro. Like King Crooked, bro. He that guy, bro. When it comes to this shit.
I thought this was dope as fuck.
I love this song.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Hey,
dude,
yo, but was Joel Ortiz? You guys see my tweet about fucking Joel Ortiz quote? He said, "I was fucking Wanda the fish." Right? Isn't that what he said?
No, I was fucking a fish called Wanda.
I was fucking a fish called Wanda. Joel Ortiz, I'm a huge fan. Don't get me wrong. This is not me talking shit. This is I don't understand. What does that mean?
I don't know what it means either.
We figured out.
We were trying to figure this out because
Yeah.
we thought he was talking about Fairly Odd Parents.
Because why not? It's a fish. Wanda.
Fish called
Wanda's
Wanda,
the fish.
and then you look up a fish called Wanda, and there's a movie called A Fish Called Wanda.
Yeah.
but that still doesn't explain why. What
It's
does
about
that line
the
mean?
Russian.
It's like a heist film.
The
I
Russian.
think.
It's a heist film, but it's about the Russian something. I don't know. I saw that shit, like the Russian document or something like that. Documents.
I don't fucking know.
I
But
don't know.
I love this song. This
Yeah.
is rap.
No, this is the most important part of the song, bro.
The Russian-
He's fucking a fish called Wanda, Joel Ortiz. It's a big Puerto Rican man, bro. He fucking a fish called Wanda, bro. This is funny as shit, dude. What the hell's going on?
Oh shoot!
Dude, yeah, I don't know, man.
I like the line, or well, I have it as worst line, but he has here, quote, "When I curse, you could say I swore to protect," which probably gets the award for best / worst line because
Who said it's M?
I think M said that. Yeah, when I curse, you could say I
'Cause
swore
he
to protect.
spazzed
Yeah,
at
that's
the end
M.
of the song.
He did spaz.
It's like
he had
he
a great
went
verse at the end of the song.
crazy.
Yeah. But it was one of the ones where it's like he's punchline to punchline, and some of the punchlines hit, and some of the other punchlines.
I know you
are
a big
like,
Joe Budden fan, right?
yeah.
I know you heard who was it? I think it was Crooked Eye, where he was playing with the Udden.
Was he? I didn't hear
Rhyme
hear it.
scheme.
Yeah, the rhyme scheme. If you listen to his song, if you listen to the end of his verse, like when the rhyme scheme is the whole Udden, like that joke. So I feel like he's playing with y'all. Y'all want him to say something, but he didn't say nothing.
I know Eminem said
like that.
earlier in the album he called him Trader Joe, which I thought was pretty funny.
That is really funny.
Who in that-
Oh, dude, did you
earlier
miss
in
that?
What album? Yeah.
In
what?
Lock It Up. I think it was like the last song. Like,
What'd he say? I missed that 100%.
oh, dude, it's a great line. He's I'll find it.
I try to stay away from the
it's in Lock It
disses
Up.
this time, because last time with the revival one, I tried to focus on the disses, and I was like, no, that was stupid. Like, why are we talking about that? Talk about bars.
More shocking than a pissed off Blanca. I was like, all right, there's some
Yeah.
Nintendo shit. But I like this a lot, man. This song, I was just like, I want more of this. I feel like if we had an album of this type of caliber, I'd be
Yeah.
a very
Oh my
welcoming.
god, I'd be
Crooked
super
Eye and
into it.
Royce.
Like, just do an album with
fucking
just do
go.
a short album with a bunch of features, and it's gonna be a great
gonna be
Eminem
so
album.
tight.
But
But so, because here's the problem: like when you do something too often, it's not special anymore, and it's like I feel like the Eminem spazzing thing, where it is just like the ridiculous verbal gymnastics.
Yeah.
It's like when you've done that 6 times on this album, when you do it in this song, when you should be doing it, it lacks the kind of like impact, right? It's
Yeah.
still dope, but it's just like it's not special.
It's like Despicable.
Yeah.
Remember that
Oh, man,
Despicable
yeah.
freestyle? When
Yep.
he dropped that shit, I was like, whoa, there still are rap gods. That's not a legend.
They do
from a
exist.
past. They still exist. Like, this is crazy. But then, like, I heard the album since then. I'm like, yeah, there's nothing that gives me that feeling.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
the
bro.
Joe Budden
Nowhere
line
close.
was trying to save at Kroger. So why would I give a fuck about backstabbing Trader Joe for?
There
There you go.
I feel like
There you
he took a good line and made it bad. I feel like it was better before y'all.
In the context
explained
of the
it.
song, I think it worked better.
Yeah,
I
hope
didn't
so.
I didn't flow it correctly. I didn't do the right rhyming.
That doesn't sound right.
But overall, like, this album for me is very inconsistent. But at the end of the day, like, I think the highs on Kamikaze for me are more consistently high. But this album might have higher highs with songs like Darkness and Godzilla, and even like I Will, and like it has moments for sure that I feel like bring it up a lot.
And there's the outro, which was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Alfred outro.
Yeah. I really one day want to spend way too much time looking at M's discography
Dude, one-
post I don't even know what it would be. Like I'll even say like post encore and try to come up with one album to rule them all of those songs. Try to come up with a sequencing that makes sense.
Oh,
trying to,
yeah,
trying to
like, take the best
actually
songs
tell a
of all
story.
of them.
Because I really feel like with all of it, we could probably make 2 solid albums with separate visions that would like really fucking work.
Try it, dude. It's the most fun thing. Like I do that shit like all the time with like artists that I like. Like there's like a kind of very okay, like I know this is very different, but a segment of Blink-182's like discography where I'm like, there's like 6 really good songs on this and like 5 really good songs on this that like mold together and shit. It's a really fun experiment to like go and try. I encourage you guys to do it because
I think we could literally do it with the last 3 albums.
Yeah.
Like I think there's enough there that if we stuck to like a 10-song limit, you could create one like amazing Eminem album out of those.
Which I do think is a funny thing because I feel like Recovery was definitely, or Revival was definitely an idea of, I'm trying to add on to this like story I already have going, right? But he never understood that was going to be the first chapter in this story that he's telling now. You know what I mean? Because then he has Kamikaze, and then he has fucking this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like these albums are grouped together way more than the other albums.
The problem is he named them all incorrectly. Like, I agree with you, but when it comes down to it, it's like, all right, Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers. That's a duology. Like, that makes sense. Eminem Show and Encore, literally, and then Curtain Call, the greatest hits. That should have been like way more tonally consistent than it actually was. Then when he comes out with Relapse, that could have just been its own thing. But then he like tried doubling down to the trilogy where it's like Relapse, Recovery, and Revival. Nah, bruh. Like Recovery should have been totally separate. Like Relapse is its own fucking thing. Then Recovery and Marshall Mathers LP2 is Recovery 2. Like when you listen to that album, it's Recovery 2. It is not Marshall Mathers.
It's definitely not Marshall Mathers LP2 for sure.
Revival is just like, I don't even know what that is. Like it's like maybe number 3, right?
Yeah,
like kind of. And then it's like Kamikaze and this. I do see as they could have been a part 1 and part 2, not even like a 2, just like 2 parts of the same whole. Oh fuck.
I
see the 3 because I feel like most of the songs I like on this album that I wouldn't actually go out of my way to replay, but if they play, I wouldn't turn it off. Remind me more of Revival than they remind me of Kamikaze. Because the Kamikaze songs, all the songs I'm playing still. You know what I mean? So like it works out and I love it. That's fucking dope.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that?
You have any more?
No, I was just throwing you off.
Jesus, I fucking hope not. God, if you like this, let us know. We might do some more in the future. It's hard with rap albums because it's like I feel like all of us need to be equally invested and have equal history, or at least know the history for the context of it all. Sure. There are very few artists, but one day, I'm telling you, me and you.
Oh, man.
Kanye in review, baby. Let's fucking do it right.
Put it on the thermometer.
Put it on the thermometer.
All right, or you can comment and let them know you want Jay-Z in review from me and whoever I just.
It's just you.
Just you. Cool.
Hey, man, I go crazy, dude.
Not Blueprint. From American Gangster on, I got you. I listened to all those albums.
All right, shit.
And you don't have too many to catch up on before that.
True. And I have listened to like a few of the previous ones, but I just
He's at 13.
I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of Jay-Z the way some of
man's
y'all
at
do.
13. M's at 11. Catch up. Catch up.
Love you guys. Bye.